Good evening, everybody. Welcome to what technically, I guess you could say, is the season and opener for RHRL this season. We got our dual lineups for everybody here. About to read those off. A lot of guys tonight racing out here. So for duel number one, we got two of these duels, and then we got the LCQ. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, four will advance. Is it four new drivers will advance? Three. So it's three new drivers from each duel, and then it's one from each it's two from the LCQ. So a total of 8 drivers out of all of these events combined will transfer on. That's good news for them. There's basically 2 chances for each driver to make it from here on out. Technically 3 if you want to include qualifying, so that's good. Now, duel number 1, let's read who all's involved with duel number 1. We got Evil Within starting on the pole, Josh on the outside pole, T-Glass third. I'm supposed to be fourth, but I'm sitting out, obviously. I'm literally broadcasting you the race. You will not see me on the track.
Tonight.
So get excited. Bit Skydiver fifth. C. Johnson, a guy that's come from ENEA, he was 6th. Skylark Racing, a newcomer, is in 7th. Toasted Gamers would be 8th, but he's not going to be here tonight. Dragon Dude is 9th. Legend Johnson, the notorious, he will be in 10th. 11th will be Bauman. 12th, another newcomer. The Real MT, also a newcomer for this season. He is also from ENEA. He rolls off 13th. Horatio, 14th. Trippy Tricks, is Trippy going to be here? I can't remember. Trippy Tricks, I don't think is going to be here. He is in 15th. Air Just Cuz 16th. Royster 17th. 18th. J-Rod, another newcomer. OK Sideways in 19th. Chaos Zero in 20th. Crotum 21st. Dark Abyss, our friend in the booth, 22nd. Fear Ninja 23rd. 24th is Ford. 25th, our fan favorite Material Zero. 26th, Foxtrot Delta. 27th, we sometimes refer to him as the GOAT, Brad Stover. And 28th, Alyssa Vaughn Sweet. Now, 56 drivers, 36 spots. 20 will not be making it, which is going to be a tough start to their season due to how qualifying for races will be for the remainder of the season. It's going to be quite interesting. This race quite literally has probably the biggest effect on the remainder of everyone's season, assuming that everyone remains, active and races every race, which that doesn't always happen. So a lot of stuff could happen just in this duel itself, and it could really a lot rests on just this duel itself. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see how these guys shape up. But we got 28 drivers here for duel number 1 that have qualified for it. We're not going to have 28 drivers in the field, as, for example, I'm not going to be in that duel, but I will be in the race regardless, qualified in. So I'll be there. There's a few others missing, so I would expect around maybe 20 to 25 for this first duel. But I believe for duel number 2, I don't think very many are missing. So duel number 2 is going to be quite interesting, and we'll read you that lineup once we get to that point. But duel number 1 about to be underway here shortly.
Indeed, and of course, let's give you a little bit of breakdown. This is going to be how both duels are. We'll break down the LCQ later. Yeah, we do have a last chance qualifier, and I tell you right now, that race is going to be very, very intense. I believe there's going to wind up being about 20 to 22 drivers in that LCQ, and only 2 of them will make it. That will fill the last row of the big race. Front row, first of all. Based off qualifying speeds, being Evil Within, who Gavin just mentioned, starting on the pole here in this duel as well, and Gamers Blazing, who starts on the pole for duel 2. They qualified on the front row. Those positions are locked for the race. Those are the only 2 that are locked. The top 28 on qualifying speed locked into the race, this being overall, so obviously 14 in the duel, but overall top 28 locked into the big race. However, 3rd all the way through 28th, those positions will change based on where you finish in each duel. Duel 1 sets the inside line. Duel 2 will set the outside line. Again, the front row, they are locked where they are no matter where they finish. Top 10 in each duel will receive points as if they were stages. So first receives 10 points all the way down to 10th place, which will receive 1. Again, that's for each duel. And let's break these down a little bit. Each duel, 40 laps, 100 miles. These guys getting about 16 laps on fuel, meaning ideally, assuming we were to go green the entire way, which I'll be honest, don't expect that to happen. A lot of pressure on these guys. I expect a few incidents here and there. But 40 laps under the lights, 16 on fuel, meaning if we were to go green all the way, we would have to pit twice. Ideally, 15 to 16. You're looking at pitting there around 15, 16 laps in, and then about 30 to 32 laps in, somewhere in that area. So if we do get the green flag pit stops, that's going to make things very interesting. Of course, under the lights, and I mean, what better way to kick all this off? So many things. This is the biggest entry list we have ever had for any event we've done. And I'll be honest, this might be a bold statement by me, but then again, it may not be. I feel like this may be the biggest league event that has been held. Obviously, not counting the pro league stuff, things like that. The biggest league event that has been held on a console, at least on the Xbox side, since the infamous tournament a couple of years ago. So, huge entry list here, like Gavin said, 56, 57 cars, somewhere around that area on this entry list. Only 36 make the big show, 20 go home, and we will find out who all 20 of those are. Our friend, by the way, Dark Abyss, you heard him off the lineup. He is trying to attempt to make this race as well. Will have to race his way in. He is in this first duel. He will join us up here, though, in the broadcast booth for duel number 2 and the last chance qualifier, so we'll be happy to have him there as well. What'd you say, Jeffrey? Okay, invite me when you get in the loading screen. Invite us when you get in the loading screen. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, by the way, old Buckscaster here doing the lap counts for us tonight. He will be in Duel 2 as well, but helping us out a little bit, Duel 1. Gavin, a lot of pressure on these guys tonight. Obviously, you're kind of sacrificing a little bit here. You're locked into the race. You were one of the 28 that locked in on speed. So you will be on track next Friday. We will sort out, by the way, the broadcast situation. I'll let you guys know about that on social media in the coming days. But Gavin, you'll be in the big race. Skipping out on the duel tonight, that means you're going to be starting pretty far back in the big race, but what can these drivers expect as far as pressure tonight? Obviously, you kind of skipped out on it a little bit, but for many of these guys, this night's going to be full of a lot of pressure and a lot of intense situations.
Obviously, for guys like me who are just simply locked in on speed, there is no pressure quite literally at all. In my opinion, I wouldn't have been worried either way. I would have probably thrown caution to the win from lap 1 and just raced to have a good time. I know some guys are really worried about starting position, but at plate track racing, the positions fluctuate so much that in my opinion, it really doesn't matter as long as you find yourself up towards the front at the very end of the race when it matters most. So when it comes down to that, it's really all I would think about it. I mean, you just go out there, try to put yourself in the best situation possible, and you go from there. So that's all there really is to it. Just got to do what you can and to get up front towards the end of the stages, towards the end of the race, especially like tonight, the end of the race, there is no stages, but when it comes down to the big show, you want to be at the front in those sections, the stages, to get those points and also to get the race win. And you can only do that if you're smart, so you got to be smart with it. You got to make the good move and don't wreck the field. That's one thing too. You want to have friends, and wrecking the field, not a good way to earn the friends or get friends. That's for dang sure. So yeah, just being careful, keeping the car in one piece, and just being smart about your moves. I think that's really just going to be the keys, like it is almost everywhere else. That's just probably what you're going to have to focus on.
Absolutely, and I think the other thing too that we're gonna have to keep an eye on is obviously, in terms of pressure of making the race, obviously the guys that are locked in don't have to worry about that. They're gonna be in the race next Friday unless they, were to say, do some wrongful things on the racetrack. Then there might be another discussion. But in general, yes, every single one of those guys, the top 28 on speed, they're going to be in the race next week. They're not worried about that. What they may be worried about, though, unless you're somebody like Evil Within or Gamers Blazing who's locked onto the front row, you're safe, is where you finish. Getting points. Look, we have a 10-race regular season before we make these playoffs, right? You want to start getting points now. There's points on the table tonight. I can tell you right now, somebody like a Ward Burton who's had a lot of trouble with that, and he'll even tell you that. He's said that many times over the course of prior seasons, just being able to maximize points opportunities. He can finish races off well, but he hasn't been able to get them in the middle of the race, say in stages, and he feels like that's kind of where his downfall's been in terms of getting a championship in RHRL.
Jeffrey.
And I think
Okay.
I think when we look at that, I definitely think somebody like a Warburton tonight is going to be somebody we may expect to see going for those points to try to get that game started, that ball rolling a little bit early. Because again, that is on some guys' minds, and I think it has to be with the way this is all going to work this season. The other thing too is the track position. Obviously, you want to make sure that you're starting well.
He's
Look,
sending us an invite when he's in.
regardless of these duels, right?
Okay.
This is still next Friday going to be the biggest field we've ever seen for an RHRL race. 36 cars. The previous largest record, I believe, was 30 or 32. So this is going to be our biggest field. What's that mean? A lot of new guys on the racetrack with us, first of all. Second, you don't want to be too far back on that pack because it's not going to be easy to get through there. Track position next Friday night is going to be very key. And where do you earn that? Right here in these duels tonight. Finishing as high as you possibly can in these duels is going to get you good track position for next Friday, and that's going to be key to win the 250, our biggest race.
Yeah, and one last thing I wanted to mention, it's kind of the meme of RHRL. I wanted to let everybody that's watching in on this. Something we did prior to our race here. We, Grand Marshal being super NASCAR fan, I thought I would just play this in the mic here for us.
Drivers, start your engine!
Everybody likes a good driver start your engines. I know everybody out there is going to enjoy that one. But I just can't wait to get down to the track, honestly. I'm just waiting to see Toasted's comment something about that, or Abyss, because I know they're in the chat. So, really looking forward to that. But, man, this is going to be a good race for sure. I'm really looking forward to this. Plate tracks always is good. So, ought to see some good wrecks, some good racing, and maybe some more.
And I'll tell you what, you're
things
going
that
to
we're
see
not
some
yet aware
tempers.
of.
I will guarantee you that. We got this underway. I did hear. I believe we are very close to getting this thing rolling. Admin's trying to make sure we have everybody that's going to be here and in the right places. We will run a pace lap at the start of the race, just to get everybody in line, things like that. We're gonna set this up, and we're gonna drop this green flag, and there's gonna be 30 guys trying to race for all these spots, and it's gonna be very fun to watch. Again, a lot of intense situations. Like I said, I definitely expect some tempers because, quite frankly, look, this is going to be a good thing for these guys, right? Not only are you racing to get into this field, but if you're a full-time driver, look, nobody is locked into this race except for the guys that were, in on qualifying time. So if you're a full-time driver and you didn't qualify inside the top 28, you can miss this race, and that could really put your season off to a bad start, which is kind of the fun part about this, at least from my point of view, is you have that opportunity to miss the race. I kind of think of the Indy 500 in that aspect, and Daytona as well, but more so the Indy 500. Even if you're full-time, you still have a chance to miss that race, and that's the biggest race. There's a lot of pressure within that as well, so this is going to be fun tonight. I cannot wait for this. I think this is something I know I've anticipated for a couple of weeks now, and we're going to be in for a good night of racing. 101 laps of racing in total. Yeah, LCQ, by the way, 21 laps. We'll talk about that later, but this is going to be a very intense night of racing. And I think something else to be mindful of as well, Gavin, is essentially the situations that we're going to see all these drivers in. Who works together in this race? We always talk about it, these plate tracks. Finding friends. That's not going to be any different in these duels. If anything, it may be more important. The top 3 open cars, meaning cars that were 29th on back in qualifying in each duel, the top 3 out of each of those will be into this race. They will, for this first duel, they will fill positions 29, 31, and 33. So as each duel sets one line, duel 1 being inside, duel 2 being outside. That's going to be important as well. And by the way, before we get going, I know we're close. I do want to shout out our sponsors. They're back with us again. Circle B Diecasts, as always, a longtime partner of ours. Go to circlebdiecast.com for all your NASCAR and racing memorabilia needs and wants. They have diecasts, replica helmets that are pretty cool, and some other little things, t-shirts and hats, things like that. And they have some other things as well, like IndyCar, NHRA, and even some sprint car and dirt racing stuff. So go check them out, and when you do, use code RHRL at checkout for free shipping on anything over $20 at checkout. And also, Box Cave Furniture and the Box Cave Duel are coming out later this year. Can't wait to see what those guys are going to do with that, and we'll talk more about both of those as the night goes on. A lot to go here, and we're just about to get started. The countdown is on, Gavin.
Yes, it is, and I wanted to give a quick shout out to everyone involved here tonight. This is going to be a extremely fun race. Everybody watching will not be disappointed in the 2 races we got tonight. Actually, technically 3, 2 for each driver. Word being told now we can get down to the track, so let's get there.
Anticipation. I already have that, but thank you.
Lots of new faces to get used to. If you hear me call somebody by their number, that's because I'm not used to them being in the league. This is the first time I think I'm going to end up seeing probably about 15 to 20 of these people. So, yeah, when I say this number car is
Look
doing
at this beautiful racetrack.
Expect it to be because of me not knowing who they are. But we'll get to know them as the season continues, and also expect to see me on the track a couple times this season. Just wanted to put that out there.
Including next week. The lights are on. The race cars, they are on track, are about to be. Hopefully I'm not getting the never-ending scenic track look glitch. I hate that glitch. But regardless, as I wait for this to finish showing me what the track looks like, I can say this much. If you're going to feel any nerves, the most you'll feel is probably right now, because you don't know how this race is going to go. And I think we're going to see how this goes. 4 cars missed the duels, what we're hearing, and 1 driver, I believe it's the real MT, has been moved to the rear of this pack. So his work that he had done a little bit for in qualifying made all that much harder, because now he's got to get through this pack. And as we have this 22 cars in the duel. So, by the way, as we look at this as well, Gavin, I'll point this and ask you this, because you've done a lot of this type of racing. Starting at the back of the duel and kind of in this situation, how hard is it going to be to not only move up through the field, but even stay with the pack?
Well, I mean, staying with the pack can be hard if you're behind a lagger. Other than that, I mean, it can be pretty difficult if you're stuck on the high side and end up getting put in the wall. I mean, there's a few things that make it difficult, but other than that, shouldn't be too much of a problem, really. I mean, if you just, again, keep your car in one piece and keep it out of the wall, don't do nothing stupid, don't do nothing questionable, you should be pretty much fine and not have to worry about anything. I mean, this is a track that is quite literally one of the simplest types of racing in all of motorsports. It can be difficult at times if you make it difficult, but I mean, it doesn't have to be. You're almost always flat foot around this track. It's just picking and choosing where to go, and your choices can be detrimental or they can prove to be the wisest choice you make all race long. Depends on what time, what place, and where. Leader chooses the outside here and trying to figure out if we can figure out where Evil is here. I'll probably flip through every car at least twice just trying to find him.
Dude, I'm going to try to see if I can get to somebody up towards the front.
Evil Within and Josh on the front row, Toyota, Chevrolet. They'll be rolling off here.
There we go.
First laps of this season about to be turned. Drivers have been preparing for this moment all off season. And we are green. Here they go, green flag in the air. Good restart for the 95. Late in the box, that's going to give him enough time to get down. Actually, the 9 just really didn't get going. 95 will be within a great restart for him.
Indeed, and see already something I think we're going to have to keep an eye on as well is typically when we come to Daytona, we see this inside line get kind of single filed out. A lot of people want to be down there. I will tell you, and I definitely expect this a lot more in the second duel with some of the people I know that are in that one. We'll have to see if it's the same way for the first duel. There are some guys that will try to get up there and make that high side work. Somebody that comes to mind, not in this duel, but an Asylums or a Drew, guys like that like to try to get up and make that outside work sometimes. I will see. So far, I will say, to my surprise, I'll be honest, the outside, at least for a minute there, was holding on pretty well, starting to kind of slip now. But lap 1 in the books here, 38 laps to go.
Yeah, we still got a lot of racing left. It's only just begun. The intensity level obviously isn't going to be as high as it would be if we were, say, coming to 10 to go, but either way, fighting for track position is always going to be a key factor in a race like this, especially where it's a do or die situation.
Oh, crash!
Big wreck towards the back there.
Put us under
Get
caution.
back to it here.
There it is.
It's Skydiver lag spikes. That is the 60 car back there that you see. Bit Skydiver having some lag issues there. That's something that you might hear a lot of. The forbidden L word of lag. We hate to hear that word, but it's exactly what can happen, and look at what it does. It just destroys your race right off the get-go.
Indeed. Next, I tell you what I want to look at next, if I can find him. I'd like to see where our good buddy Dark Abyss loaded it into the lobby so I can get to his car. Let's see if I can find him. See if I can see where he's at. But now, here's what I wonder. With this caution, obviously we ran 2 laps there, including the pace laps. So this is going to put us on lap 5. I know it's very early to talk about this, and I'll be honest, I don't see this going green, but this actually could put us in a scenario where fuel mileage could become a topic of conversation. I'm not going to get too much into it.
First, by the way.
Where?
First.
Okay.
Get to the front now. Josh on the pole for this restart. But yeah, strategy definitely could be a factor there. You're going to end up seeing these first couple of pit stops end up being a longer pit stop. Drivers are going to try to get those pressures in. You see the difference it made in qualifying for some of these guys, myself included. It can be the difference of a 10th per lap, so drivers definitely going to try to get those tire pressures in. It's very important.
No, indeed, and I think that's going to be something. Obviously, you can't typically get them all in one stop. Typically, it takes at least 2, maybe 3, depending on how quick you are. Putting tape on the car, things like that as well.
The wall
Oh boy.
goes Fear Ninja.
Fear did not qualify
7
very
went
well.
up the track. Yellow flags out. The 7 of its Rotom went up the track there. Ends up hitting the 5 of Fear Ninja. We can get back to him, take a look at the damage on that car. But look at the 1, actually, the real MT. He caught up some damage as well just because of that. Ended up having nowhere to go. Ended up smashing right into the rear of that number 5. That's something that you would hate to see, especially when he was having to start in the back. This is kind of the bad karma you get from having to start in the back, and I'm hoping when we get to the 250, because this will end up being me, I'm hoping we don't have to go through the same torture.
No, indeed, and not only that, in the 250, we're going to have about 14 more cars than this, what's on track right now. MT, though, if you're not familiar with them, try to do this as much as we can as well. Try to get some guys, or you guys familiar with some of the guys that are here tonight. If you've watched Gavin and I do the ENEA races, you might know who we're talking about. But Real MP, he's somebody who's been around ENEA for a while. Not moving over to iRacing with them, I believe, but decided to join us here in RHRL. So this is the first time on track with many of these drivers, and obviously starting at the back and then getting involved in the crash there. Not exactly the way he intended on that to go, but he's got time to recover from it with 30 laps to go, Gavin.
Yeah, that's the only good news I could say that he's had so far this race. It's been rough, especially for guys like Brad Stover looking off the pack already just a little bit. I will say the only positive about running this strategy is you miss all the wrecks. You can gain track position that way, simply just because you don't have damage. So Brad Stover maybe has the right strategy right now, but I don't know. I mean, if it's me, I would like to be towards the front here. I definitely want to get up towards the front and get that track position, but right now, if you're sitting as we ride along with OK sideways, you're kind of stuck. You got a lot of traffic in front of you. You don't know where you're really going to go. You're just going to follow the guy in front of you, and whichever line seems to be moving fastest is the line you're going to go to. So we'll see here as he makes a big move to the high side. Behind Dark Abyss there, who's by himself. Maybe not the best decision, and you'll hear me talking about that a lot.
Oh, here they go to the bottom. Look at the contact made.
Huge.
A lot of moving around.
Decision making going to be huge.
And Gavin, here's what I'm wondering as well. Obviously, we both know Sideways and Abyss off the racetrack, and I'm wondering if maybe what they're trying to do. We talked about finding your friends out here. That's going to be big contact crash. Abyss involved, and actually somebody is flipping. That's not good. '51
like
has
51
been asked
there
to go to the
might have
rear.
got put down on the track a little bit. That's what it looked like to me. The 51 may have gotten forced along the apron there, and it's kind of hard to control the car when it gets put down there, not under your own power, and even under your own power it can be quite difficult to handle the car. So I don't know. From the corner of my eye, it looked like the 51 might have gotten put on the apron. Sounds like he's being issued an EOL. We'll have to see.
Now,
we'll see what happens to that situation there, but it sounded like an EOL for the 51. I don't know how to feel about that one. I don't know if that's particularly his fault, but it didn't look like it from where I was. But back up to the front, it looks like it's still Josh in the 38, so we'll have to see what happens here. But a lot of beautiful race cars up towards the front to get started for this event here. Hopefully we get a little bit more green flag racing. A lot of guys going to be making desperate moves. We'll have to see which guys are willing to risk it all just to get into the race, and which guys are just going to, whatever happens, happens to them. I mean, there's so much going on.
Indeed, and I want to again kind of highlight the point because I just got disconnected from the lobby randomly, so I need an invite back. But if you could, Gavin. But going back to what I was saying before the caution came out, something I think that maybe Sideways and Abyss were trying to do when they got linked up there, and I could see other people doing this as well as the race goes on.
You send invites.
Is
Jeffrey, can you hook us up with an invite button?
But as we look at this, I think something we're going to see is
for Alex now that there's a yellow flag.
It's a scenario where they might be trying to find each other, link up, and try to go to the front with one another. Find your friends. That's a very important statement. Hopefully I can get an invite. Hopefully the lobby's not glitched. That's a thing as well.
'66 being given the EOL there. Let's take a look.
Oh, I wish I had another invite.
'66 being given the EOL there. That's nothing you want to have this early or this point in the race. I mean, you're right down the middle of it, so obviously that's not something you want. But yeah, I mean, sometimes that's just what happens, and not much you can do.
Rich, are you in the lobby still? I need an invite. It disconnected me. Yep, thank you. Okay, I'm loading back in, Gavin.
Lots of straight line towards the bottom. If we take a look here, as it looks like Josh still leading. He's got another Chevy, actually two behind him. Talk about the real MT making a recovery. He's in third right now, behind it all, and looking to make a push for the lead. As now the real MT up to second after starting in the rear of the field. Look at how quickly he's made his way up into this picture. A guy that is known for his plate racing ability over at the ENEA stable. He is pretty darn good, if I have to say, at these plate racing functions. And this is something right here I would not be surprised to see if he might take over this lead from Josh if he can get a little bit of a gap there. But Josh going to close the door. You can see it from that aerial camera on Josh's number 9 Chevrolet. As that one looks to make a move, but a lot of Chevys in a line right now. I don't expect to see much movement for a while, and they might just be trying to ride this out. Now, if you're farther towards the back, if you're maybe where Air Just Cuz is, even farther back, like the 38 of C. Johnson, maybe you're looking to make a move towards the front. Maybe you're looking to grab some partners and try to make something happen. But if you're not, if you're up towards the top 5, I mean, why move now? Why not wait until the end when you have a chance to win this thing? Why not try to just defend your position?
Exactly, and I think the other thing too, we're starting to see the pack kind of split up a little bit as well, which could bode bad news for some of these guys. The one thing I will say that could make a difference here is we do have to pit again right now. I don't know the exact number as far as what lap we're on right now. Okay, so when we look at this, really about a 6-lap difference, so these guys could probably make it 18 to go. Pit window. Oh, big crash! This is going to change a lot of things.
Right towards the middle of the field, too.
There's the caution, and this should be our final pit stop of the race. We should go back to green with, I would assume, 15 to go, which is just within the pit window.
I would not be surprised. Quite literally a lot of couple of wrecks going on, but man, that's just, you hate to see for these guys, man. They're just trying so hard to keep it going and they just can't do it.
So, as we wait for everybody to head back to green here, get their pit stops in, again, what may very well be the final pit stop for everybody. There we go. The field lines up 66 right now, the first car in, and Gavin, back to green with what I would assume is 15 laps to go.
Yep, only a little bit left in this stage, or in this duel, I guess you could say. T-Glass now has made his way up into the lead. The 5 of Fear Ninja is in second. The 49 of Dragon Dude is in third. 94 of Material fourth right now. And the 17, like I said, I can't quite remember everybody's name. He is in fifth. So these guys all are going to easily make their way in as long as they can hang on to their spots. This is the key part of the duels, is just staying put sometimes. Sometimes it's more about making the big race than winning the little one. And, you know, that's sometimes, you know, this win can be a confidence booster, but if you win the duel, you're not always guaranteed to do good in the bigger thing. So it's all about just making it and surviving here tonight.
Indeed, before you can win the big race, you must first make the big race, and I think that's the key. But, you know, there is still an opportunity to win something here. And Gavin, this is where I want to get your thoughts. Obviously, we made our pre-race picks. If you check out the RHRL Twitter, Instagram, you'll see those. Several of us, including you and I, Gavin, took a couple of picks for each duel. You can check those out at RHRL_racing. But, obviously, these races change, and of course, as tradition, we always do this. We're going to bring this back again. We're going to try to keep a score of it this season as well between all the commentators. But, Gavin, Circle B Diecast, ones to watch, Duel 1 edition. Who you got?
Well, I mean, let's be real here. You can't really pick anybody because anything can happen, but just for the simple fact of the pure memery, I guess you could call it, he's running fourth right now. He's in a Toyota. This is the first time that number's ever seen the track. How about the 73 of Dark Abyss? That's what I'm going to go with.
Tell you what, man, this is going to be tough. Obviously, I could take the low-hanging fruit here, and you know what, I might. Or I could take the big fruit as, whoa, big moment. I was going to pick him, so I'm glad I didn't. Josh with a big issue. I don't know what happened there. That's going to hurt him. I tell you what, this man, he's always been good at these type of racetracks. He's trying to transfer his way into this race. He wasn't quite quick enough in qualifying. And not only that, he also got promoted to an admin this season through things he had done throughout the league. How about that 94 Material Zero? He's been kind of up here, just very quiet. He hasn't won a race in RHRL yet, but what better way to advance your way into the biggest race we have than winning a duel?
Yeah, Material Zero, not a bad person to pick here. They're just trying to get his way into this thing. Look where he's at. He's kind of stuck behind another Rick Ware car, the 53. He sits ninth currently. C. Johnson also behind him, a guy we've been talking about like crazy in the ENEA side of things. We'll see if these guys can make a run here. These guys are kind of has a little bit of spread between them. We'll have to see. Now the 51 gets under the 53. Here we go. Alex trying to make a push. Another guy that we see up in the booth very often, and honestly, I enjoy seeing him as the 41 goes spinning towards the back of the track. 38 of C. Johnson gets put down below the apron. He's going to hang on to it, though. That just shows you the talent behind the wheel of that 38. They were able to save that. 41 is in the middle of the track. I don't know what's going on there. How about right along with the real MT? He might be looking to make a run here. He's got a gap between him and the 19. See if he makes something. It looks like he is. He's kind of hanging off throttle a little bit, trying to maybe build a run here and seeing who will go with him. He's got a row of cars behind him, but let's see if they do go with him or if they try to take that one spot and leapfrog him. Here we go.
Indeed, and of course, as this continues, obviously, I think we're going to see that intensity through the pack get pretty high as well. Again, we see all this going on just around Alex, and this is really kind of in the area of where the last transfer spot would be. Of course, other guys trying to transfer in as well. They're going to be looking to try to move their way up. Of course, I'm wondering, the guys that are up towards the front right now, the guys that are pretty comfortably in, say the top two that are open cars, as I would call them, and of course the guys as well. They want to try to get these points. They want to try to be comfortable. They're probably not going to move too much, but I do wonder, would anybody maybe make some big moves to try to just gain some track position or some points, Gavin, late in the going here?
Yeah, I mean, points definitely on the line. That's something that a lot of drivers are going to want, as the 24 has basically just parked it on the apron. The 41 of Foxtrot Delta is running the road course.
Indeed, and you're starting to see now as well. I'm looking at this pack. It was a little bit separate.
Yeah, I caught that on camera there. That was intentional by the 41. Have Word, seriously though, have Word park him. Yeah, that was just completely unnecessary and uncalled for. And
already the first victim of doing something you shouldn't.
I'm
not 100% sure, but I believe he was locked into the race as well, was he not? So, if he was, that's also probably going to...
Honestly, shouldn't be able to race the rest of the season after that.
I will tell you that. I will tell you this much. I'm pretty sure he was locked into the race. Somebody wants to verify that for me. I believe he was somebody that was safe on time. I can tell you right now, after that incident...
If he was locked into the race, he won't be now.
No, exactly.
Thank the Lord he's not.
I can tell you right now...
For our viewers out there watching, that's probably the stupidest thing you can do. For all 20 of you guys out there watching, that's one way to make an ass of yourself.
So what that's going to do, David, assuming going to miss the race because of that, which is, again, like Gavin said, you just threw your chance away. What that's going to do is going to, whoever's not locked in after all the events tonight, it will go to the next fastest time on qualifying speed. So right now, I would assume if he's not here, that spot would probably go to Trippy Tricks, if he was the next person out, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, we'll have to see how all that irons itself out now. I really wasn't expecting something like that to happen, but now that it has, it's kind of like, it's just awesome. I mean, who in their right mind does that? I mean, let's be real here. But back up to the front, the 00 in the lead right now. The 5 right behind him, the 49 of Dragon, the 73 of Abyss in 4th. Real MT is 5th. 4 laps to go.
Indeed. Real MT holding the last transfer spot right now. Things getting pretty dicey. Big crash. Caution.
One thing to mention, that'll lead us to our first GWC, or first green-white checkered, or overtime perhaps. Something to mention though, for guys that aren't going to make it, they still have the LCQ, so there will be some cars we'll be seeing, again, it won't be the lot, but we'll still be seeing some cars later that we've seen just now, and some that we'll see in Duel 2, and that'll make up the field for the LCQ for the final remaining 2 spots in the field. So That should be pretty interesting to see. But right now, let's get focused here. Dark Abyss is in the top 3, I believe. He will be right up towards the front.
Gonna head back to green. 2 laps to go here in duel number 1. Who's gonna start where in the big race? Who's gonna win it? Who is going to get points, and who, most importantly, will miss this race? Gavin.
Yeah, and Dark Abyss actually finds himself up in 5th right now, and Real MT is in 4th. It looks like the 00 is in the lead currently, trying to get up there to the front. Let's take a look if we can get there. Double-0 leading at his T-Glass. The 5 behind him is Fear Ninja, the 49 of Dragon Dude. The next one in line. These guys fighting tooth and nail for not only points, but also for the spot in the Daytona 250, the biggest race of the season. 1 lap to go. This thing's official no matter what happens. The 5 glued to the bumper, the 00, the 49 of Dragon Dude behind him. The Real MT from 4th trying to make a run. Who's going to go with him? These two are the lone wolves, the 00 of T-Glass, the 5 of Fear. It doesn't look like the 5 is going to let off his bumper either. Those two might be linked for the rest of this race. The 5 lets off a lot. It might be too late for a run. He might have just gave this thing away to T-Glass. Let's see if he's got...
He's trying.
It might be too late. I think it is. He made the run just a tad bit too late. Now he's blocking for second. T-Glass basically gets handed the win there, but either way, those points are going to be a good buffer for that 00.
I tell you what, even though Fear didn't win this duel, he's a happy man. He did not put up a very good qualifying lap. I was honestly very shocked of the speed of his qualifying lap. Doesn't matter. He is the highest finishing open car. So unless something changes due to post-race penalties or anything, last chance qualifier, not a problem for him. He will be the first to advance in. We will try to get you updated on who the next 2 are. T-Glass wins duel 1 here, and I think we might try to catch a word with him here in a moment. Try to see if we can get this updated. I'm gonna, meanwhile, get Mr. T-Glass in here and try to catch a word with him real quick. As he, by the way, T-Glass, I'll point out as well, somebody who, he's a champion of this league, in fact, former Cup champion, won back all the way in Season 1. But really since then, at least in terms of the Cup side, the top series has had a rough go of it. Hasn't won a whole lot of races. In fact, only 1 race in the last couple of seasons we've had that he has won on the Cup side. Got a truck championship in the meantime, but yeah, the last win coming back in what was so-called the victory lap at Chicagoland. That was pretty early in the season. Other than that, had a rough season then, and actually went winless last season. So I'm sure he's pretty happy to be able to get this one started off, even though it's not a big race, you know, like 250. So, oh, okay. So, by the way, David Hanks is actually still in the race. Apparently somebody else was in the same car as him, which got us mixed up. So, apologize for that. Apologizing to David. That was not David. That was somebody else. I guess posing, you could say, in his car. So,
Foxtrot, yeah. We caught him in 4K. 20-some viewers got to see one of the most idiotic moves in league racing history. So be thankful that you were a part of history. But either way, my goodness, I have never seen something so dumb before in my life. I have never. I'm putting that guy on blast. I don't care. That was the dumbest move I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen some stupid stuff on league racing. I mean, my God, that was terrible. That guy deserves to get put on blast. I wouldn't want to see him on a track ever again. My goodness. Either way, though, T-Glass is here. Let's get a word with him, Kevin. Let's hear from T-Glass.
Indeed.
What's up?
Is T-Glass is here. How you doing, T-Glass?
I'm doing great.
Winning the duel, that's some good points for you there, bud.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish lag didn't ruin the end of that. I lag kicked Fear behind me, but
I thought he stepped off.
I
thought he let off.
I'm pretty sure I lagged. He didn't say it, but it seemed like I lagged, and then he just never even got back to me, so kind of ruined the finish, but you know, we'll take a win. We led a lot late there. Once we got out front, I got out front from like a pit stop during cautions, and then I just didn't pit anymore and stayed out front, and that was pretty much my race. I went to 10th was the lowest I ever got. I was up front pretty much the whole time, and then was able to win it. So you just put yourself in position and you can win that race.
Hey, that's always a good thing. You make it into the 250. Believe you'll be starting third.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty good for you. How does it feel to be starting right behind the front row? You're going to get a good field position to start. That's got to be good for you, along with the points.
Yeah, starting up front is always good at super speedways. Plus, you get to start on the bottom. That's the key. Being in Duel 1 was really important because I get to start on the bottom, and we know how important the bottom is. So we're going to be second, most likely, after the restart fairly quickly. And then we'll see what happens after there. I don't know if there's going to be saving or whatever, but we'll figure it out next week. And then hopefully we can go get a win next week.
Absolutely, T-Glass, and I know you're looking forward to it. What are your expectations for next week? The biggest field we've seen ever. What are your thoughts on that?
You know, I don't know yet. We'll see what happens. I like that there's going to be people that don't make the race, because some people just won't be able to handle that big of a field. And we even saw that in the duels today. There was a lot of cautions early. So, like, it's good that we're cutting a bunch of people that won't make the race, because they're probably the people that won't be able to hold a line and keep it caution-free. But we'll see what happens. It's a massive field, and it could cause quite a bit of cautions. Yeah, Foxtrot, I believe, is gone from the league. That's good. I heard he LePaged some people.
Absolutely.
I heard he LePaged some people on the backstretch, causing
I had to
second
put him on
last
blast
caution or
during the
something like
stream.
that. Yeah. Yeah, glad you did. Definitely deserved. That's ridiculous. Yeah. I don't even know what happened there. I'm
You're
not.
gonna be able to. You wanna talk about not being able to hold a line. This dude couldn't hold his emotions. My goodness.
Oh my
Talk about
God.
an emotional human being.
He was just doing burnouts on the backstretch when I went by, and then all of a sudden I hear that he
Road
LePaged the
course.
field.
Running the road course, hooking
Well,
it
yeah.
right in front of people.
Yeah.
That's why when I saw him run the road course, T-Glass, I had to go straight to the source. I had to go straight to the 41 and make sure that we might. I had to make sure we had it on video of him making a fool out of himself. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that I got that footage.
You got it on stream of him wrecking the
Yes.
field? Nice,
Yes, from
nice.
his point of view. It was
That's
beautiful. I
awesome.
can't wait
That's
to watch
awesome.
That
Yeah, lots of new guys joined the league over the off season, so you know we're gonna have to weed some of them out, and he is the first to go. It's gonna happen. Yeah, this is what happens when you recruit a bunch of guys.
Like, Hell's Kitchen. Turning in his,
A couple of them are
turning
gonna
in
be
his,
bad donkeys.
Absolutely, T-Glass. Glad to hear from you.
way to put it.
Congratulations on your dual win. Looking forward to seeing you next week while I'm on track, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, good luck.
Absolutely, you too, man.
Indeed. And by the way, I know Gavin. By the way, huge congrats to T Glass. Great way to get kind of this week started off. Kind of get the ball rolling back in his direction. Something I think he's needed for a little while, at least in terms of RHRL. And Gavin, I know you said you wanted to do this. I wasn't sure if we were gonna have time, but I guess inadvertently we will because he was going to be joining us anyway. But Abyss, you're here. Obviously, you're going to be calling Duel 2 with us. But man, other good news for you, I believe, from what I just heard, you made it into the race, which means I'm going to have some planning to do next week. But means both of the main commentator, 2 out of the 3 main commentators for RHRL, they're going to be in the 250 next week. How you feeling, man?
Uh, for a minute there, Kevin, that last restart, it had me scared. I'll admit, it had me scared because that's the first one. That first caution came out when that guy LePage the field. I was fourth. I was locked in. I was like, okay, let's keep it green. And then he did that, scared me. Then the shout out to Legend Johnson, he let me in on that second to last restart, got me to the bottom again, fourth, still locked in. I was happy. Then the big one happens, and then I panic because Legend Johnson's not in fifth, no one's there. It was crazy, but I got fifth. I accidentally chopped one of my friend's nose on the backstretch there on I want to say this coming to 1 to go. But everything went well. I did apologize heavily there, but I'm happy to be in this race. I was very happy to do Talladega last season, but I'm very happy to be in this Daytona race because I'm gonna have some fun racing against like the biggest field in RHRL. Am I not wrong?
Correct.
Yeah, and to be part of that's gonna be even better, and also being joined by Kevin McGavin is even better. So I mean, it's just gonna be even fun, and I hope this time I can get the W.
Indeed. Well, obviously, we take this. We just saw what happened to Duel 1, so now, obviously, from the driver's seat, you just came off the racetrack, fresh out of everything that just happened. Now, time to broadcast, buddy, and I'm going to start you with this. You were just on the racetrack with all the intensity and pressure. In fact, you were somebody that was feeling that pressure, trying to race your way into the field. You achieved it. I gotta ask first, what's it like from the driver's point of view, trying to do that, and what was it like out there on the racetrack? Kind of the feel of it, I guess I would ask, and then on what would you expect in Duel 2?
Well, Kevin, it's all about the unknown because again, everyone before that expected a fuel mileage race, and those cautions came out, and it changed everything. Everyone that knew, okay, maybe this fuel mileage thing could happen, went out the window quick, and it just became a rush. So if you can make a move, you had to make. If you had friends, you got to get to them, Kevin, and that's going to be the main point of this. I see a couple of our friends in this, but I don't see too many of them together. They're very outnumbered. So the fact that they got to try, some of them got to race their way in is going to be interesting. But this field is, I'm looking at it, not a lot of no names, Kevin. So I don't know how they race. Some guys don't know how they race. So it's going to be interesting how you deal with that. So it's all this stuff coming together, and also it's when the cautions come out. That's the very important key because you could be fifth or sixth, knowing, okay, I'm locked in. That caution comes out, and you lose 2 spots, you're out, Kevin. It's close. I mean, I spent the first half of the race out of it, and then I had a great restart, starting ninth, went up to fifth, got up to fourth, and I stood there. So then I stayed locked in all that time. So it's on the content side, I'm glad I'm on this side now. I'm not worrying about it. Because I got math in my head. I'm like, okay, do I need to pass this guy? Do I not? It's all that math in your head, and me and math don't go well together, Kevin. I'll say that now. It does not go well. I thought I was out when I was in fourth, but someone told me I was in. I was like, okay, I'm gonna trust you. But it's all about that. It's literally all about math and numbers and who you know is in, who you know is out. But right now, I saw T-Glass was in, so I knew he was fine. Fear was in. I was like, okay, I'm in. I was like, but that third spot behind me kept on changing like every other lap. So that just tells you, one mess up off the corners on a straightaway, you're out. So again, it's all about timing and holding a line because you saw there, Kevin, the bottom line was favorited so heavily. Not many people were making moves on that outside line. So it's all about who you work with and how many moves you can make. It's a numbers game. I'll admit it. It's a numbers game, Kevin, and I think you're gonna love it.
Indeed, and I think we're going to see a lot of that in this duel coming up, just knowing who's in it. We'll get to that in a minute. I will ask Gavin, Your thoughts on that duel, and have you been able to confirm? Obviously, we know Abyss. Who were the other two that made it in, or I guess the other person? I know
Fear and
Fear made it in,
Sideways.
obviously. Sideways made it in, so there you go. What were your thoughts on that, Gavin, and what are you expecting now to see from Duel 2?
Yeah, that duel was kind of chaotic there throughout the whole thing. I'm expecting this one to maybe be a little bit more tame. There's a lot of guys that are new to me, but I'm expecting after that, after we had to reprimand a moron, to say the least, drivers aren't going to be trying anything suspicious now that they thought of might have worked, or else I might catch them in 4K. So just be aware of that if you're on the track. But yeah, so uh, other than that, I mean, it was quite good. I'm glad to see that Abyss made it in. That'll be fun racing alongside him again, and something I don't get to do often with Abyss. But glad to see that happening, and I can't wait to see what happens here for this next duel. It ought to be exciting.
Now, of course, reminder: everyone that did not make it in through this duel, excluding that 41 car, yeah, he's not going to be given another chance. Foxtrot, yeah, no.
But
everybody
he was in the
else-
wrong car. He was supposed to be in the 22,
Yes.
but he was in the 41.
Oh well, aren't you glad he didn't make your driver's car look bad? But anyway,
I'm also in it now.
yes. So we look at that, and obviously, in general, besides that, that kind of one outlier, everybody else that did not make the race and was trying to race their way and that missed out, they're going to get another chance at it. Same thing with the guys from Duel 2. We have the last chance qualifier at the conclusion of Duel 2. After that, we will line everybody up in whatever order it may be, and we're going to let them go at it for 21 laps to try to get into the race. We will fill the outside row, or set and fill the outside row out with Duel 2 here coming up, which Gavin or Abyss will get to the lineup in just a moment for how that's going to lay out. And boy, there's some heavy hitters in there, but we're going to fill the last two spots, 35 and 36, the very last row from that LCQ. It's going to be the top two finishing cars in that LCQ. So while obviously you got to be a little bit dejected right now because you missed the big show temporarily, you still get one more shot at it. It's not going to be easy, but you have a chance, and if you have a chance, it's still possible. That's my outlook on it. But having said that, obviously, we've just finished up Duel 1. Pretty interesting race. It had its moments of controversy, had its moments, I would assume, of tempers, and quite a few cautions. Duel 2, again, with a lot of the heavy hitters in that, which you'll hear in just a moment. It'll be interesting to see how this one goes. I expect it to be quite a bit different from what Duel 1 was. From what I can tell, a bit more experience in Duel 2, and I think that'll make for some better racing. But having said that, Gavin, Circle B Diecast starting grid, you got it, sir?
Oh, I was going to let Abyss read this one
Oh,
out.
all right, we can do
Abyss,
that.
do you want to read it, or should I read it?
No, I
No,
think
where is it?
I'll let Abyss do it.
I'll send
He
it.
wants
I'll send
to.
it to you, Abyss. That's
Where
fine.
is it?
It's
I didn't even think of
in the
that.
graphics tab, but I don't think you'll see it.
No, he can't.
Broadcast?
Hey, I
Alright,
can't
I
see it
will.
either, so it's okay.
Hold on.
Different
A lot
reasons
of
we'll put it.
stuff.
I got you, bro. Go to the broadcast channel, and I will send it through there.
Yeah, so Abyss gonna read us our Circle B Diecast starting grid. You know, that makes sense. I wish I had thought of that. Credit to Gavin for thinking of that. He's joining us in the booth. Gavin read the first one, and why not let the man that just made it into the race himself read off this one? So, by the way, I should point out, I believe most of these drivers are here. We were missing a few for Duel 1. I
You're
believe
missing
most,
7.
if not all of them, are here for,
We're missing
for
7
Duel
in
2.
Duel
So.
1.
Why couldn't the 41 miss the duel? I mean, that would make it so much better.
I guess we can call him the
I'm sorry, that dude's
X22
gonna be
driver.
That
But-
dude is going to be the butt of many of my jokes here this whole Speed Weeks. I mean, that's just, my God.
So here's the starting lineup for Duel number 2. Here we go, starting on the pole. Man, I think him and Evil put down the same lap time, so it's very controversial who got which duel. But this man, Gamers, will be starting on the pole of Duel number 2. Right next to him is Word Burton. After that, in third place is Stein. Fourth is Confetti Zaps. Fifth is Stein. And then sixth, we got David. And then in seventh, we got our old man, Drew. Gotta love that man. And in number 8th place, we got SW Golf. And number 9th, we got Trip McGinnis. And 10th, we got Yoshi. And 11th, we got the man, Asylums. he's probably the biggest threat in this entire place. Because remember, he went back to back in plate races last year, and he also won at Daytona last year. We got Fabico Gamers in 12th. We got Unlimited in 13th. Logan in 14th. Seaman in 15th. Gang in 16th. I guess the man that helped you out in duel number 1 counting laps is going to start 17th. Haha Boog, if he's starting in this one, is going to be 18th. And then it is, whatever his name is, in 19th. Her Honorary Hades in 20th. Racer in 21st. TBR Waves in 22nd. JGR Fan in 23rd. Lord Billis in 24th. Lyle Chat 25th. Y'all Gamers 26th. And then J Live 27th. And Turbo 28th. That is your starting lineup for duel number 2, guys.
Indeed, Gavin, and obviously I can tell you right now, Honorary Hades will miss this duel as well. He did not get it on qualifying time either, so unfortunately couldn't be here tonight. He's not going to be in the race next week. That means, though, assuming everything goes according to plan, I am happy to announce that unless something changes, he will be joining me and whoever the third person, the one that wound up streaming, may be. We have to figure that out, as obviously both the main guys
He streams.
are in the big show. So we'll have to see if Alex gets in here. We'll have to really get to thinking. But otherwise, if Alex and Jeffrey get in, we'll have to get some thinking. But right now, it looks like those two guys might be the ones we look at to see. So again, we'll keep you guys updated on that on all of our social media stuff, RHRL_racing, Twitter and Instagram. But looking at that. We're gonna have a good race tonight. Hades will be with me and whoever it is, like I said, in the booth next week. Hades has a lot of experience, Xfinity Series champion of this league, and has won a few races. It's gonna be a good one. We need somebody. Okay, so yeah, Jeffrey gonna be helping us with the lap counts again. By the way, I want to thank you for that. Not only in Duel 1 but also Duel 2 here, which you'll be competing in. So we'll get that side of things as well. We had Alex here. Duel 1 as well, helping us. He was in that duel, obviously. He has to go through last chance qualifier now, unfortunately for him. But again, we'll see how things go. It's going to be an interesting duel. And again, I hope you guys have enjoyed what you've seen so far. And it's just getting started. 2 more races to go on the night. It's almost go time. Gavin, final thoughts here heading into this one. We just saw what Duel 1 showed us. Again, nerves, if you're feeling them, it'd be right now. And again, I'll also point out there's a lot more heavy hitters, I would say, in this duel. You think about guys. Well, how about the man that's won the last 2 plate races we've done, including the 250 last season, Asylums? He will be in this duel. Definitely somebody to keep your eye on. Tim, he's won at this racetrack before in the Xfinity Series when we had it. In fact, that was the very first Xfinity race we ever did. That being Tim Moore and, of course, or Warburton, and, of course, Drew also in this field. 3 guys that very strong at this racetrack. Going to be many more throughout the field as well. It's going to be fun to see this, but many heavy hitters in this field.
Yeah, I didn't get to pick my favorites for this one. Thanks, Jeffrey. But if I had to pick like maybe 3 guys, maybe as like the dark horses of this, obviously you got Eddie Kalegi, better known as Trip McGinnis, Tony Stewart, Vince Welch, whoever else Eddie decides.
He has many personalities.
You got him. You obviously got Casey there, who is always going to be good at play tracks. Another guy who really showed improvement at the last couple of play tracks I've watched, Lyle. Surprisingly, I know many people are like, "Huh, Lyle," and I'm like, "Yeah, Lyle. Like, what do you mean?" He's been good the last couple of play tracks I've seen him at, so that's another one that I would like to see do good in this race. Obviously, you got others who can be good at play tracks. I'm really interested to see how Confetti Zaps does, honestly. He had a really good qualifying lap, so I'm really curious to see if he does well tonight, especially when there's a lot of other cars around him. I know he struggled a little bit last season, but with a good qualifying spot, he has good track position. I'd like to see him do good. I'd be really upset if he didn't. So I really want to see Confetti Zaps do good as well.
Indeed, I think that'll be interesting as well to see confetti. Obviously, look, we don't talk about confetti a whole lot in terms of the racing, but again, look, we're at Daytona. A lot of things are possible here. Um, and for anybody, if you're in this field, again, you have a chance. It's a little bit easier in terms of at least the racing ability. You see a lot of guys you maybe wouldn't typically see up at the front contending for these things, as well as all the regulars. So, again, I definitely agree with that. That statement. It would be interesting to see not only confetti, but there's several underdogs in this race, as there would be in general. And there's a lot of guys again that are new here that we're not exactly completely exposed to. And one guy that I'm also interested that we have been exposed to before. In fact, he's been a championship contender in RHRL before, all the way back in season 1. It's been a little while since he's been here. But how about Turbocharger? He has made his return, starting shotgun on the field though, very back, as you heard in the starting grid. 28th, or what is listed as 28th. He'll move up a little bit, at least to 27th, but 26th, one of the two. But either way, he's got his work cut out for him. We saw the real MT, somebody back in Duel 1, kind of having to fight. He did a pretty good job of it. Didn't make his way into the show off of that one, but showed a lot of speed despite having to overcome some, not only a start at the rear, but also being involved in a wreck. So, Turbo has the experience here. In fact, I remember back in the first Red Hot 250, he actually won a stage in that one and was fast. So I would keep an eye on Turbo. I know he didn't put up a qualifying lap, so we're not exactly sure what kind of single car speed he has, but guess what? Single car speed doesn't matter in this case. It's how you draft. So, wait, did you? Dude, you were supposed to tell us when to take the invite. Oh, okay, sorry.
I think he's talking about the real race.
That's what I thought he was talking about.
I got
Okay.
so confused.
Okay, I did too. Alright. Sorry. Sorry, guys.
That was the
Kyle
biggest
Busch apparently
fake
is
out
being
ever.
a menace right now, and Jeffrey scared us for a moment. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Turbo, I think, is going to be a fun story to watch here because of the sole fact he's starting deep in this field, but he has the experience level and the know-how and the knowledge to be able to work his way up through this thing. He's got to race his way in. I'll be interested to see if he's able to do it or not.
Yeah, that's someone I had kind of just glazed over on the stream there, and I would not be surprised really if he did good. I mean, he's just always been one of those better drivers and really a consistent guy as well. I would not be surprised to see him do good, but it's definitely going to be tough starting from the back. But then again, we saw Real MT do it, I believe, so I would not be surprised if Turbo could do it as well.
Indeed, and Abyss, obviously we've talked to everybody else. What are you thinking here? Obviously, we kind of got your thoughts earlier, but, like we've said, there's a lot of heavy hitters in this field. Who are you kind of maybe looking at least early on here? We'll obviously come back to this question later if Circle B Diecast wants to watch when we get later on in the duel, but early on here, a lot of heavy hitters. Who you thinking? Who you looking at?
First of all, I'm just happy they're in the second duel, they weren't in my duel. Okay, I'm just saying, I'm just happy. T-Glass was enough. Okay, he was the biggest heavy hitter. I'm just glad that Word or Desai wasn't in. That's probably my saving grace of my duel. But yeah, it's a heavy pack duels, and I think even some people that have to qualify in are still going to be heavy hitters. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is going to be an upset, because I'm expecting an upset in this duel, because I said this pretty much all week and today. I even said it in your chat, Gavin, but this is the war at Daytona, and tonight the war has come, and only 3 victims from each duels get to make it. Only 3. So who's going to come out of this war in top? I don't know. If I could put my hand in a hat with mixed up names, that's going to be the order I pick it in, because right now it's just madness. I think this is going to be a true war tonight. Hopefully it goes more green than my duel, but but I think these heavy hitters are going to make it pretty clean.
Indeed. Obviously, we gave you a rundown for Duel 1, but in case you missed that, we'll give you the rundown here as well as we wait to get this second one underway. 40 laps make up this duel. Supposed to be at least, or to my knowledge, 27 cars in this duel. I know Honorary Hades will not be here. I believe so. But to my knowledge, I believe we're going to have 27 in the duel, unless somebody else isn't here or somebody got added late into going. So that's going to be interesting. Again, top 3 in the duel that did not qualify in the top 28 make it in. So top 3 open cars is what I would call them. Again, just like Duel 1, they're going to be the ones we keep an eye on in terms of transferring into this race. Those would be positions 30, 32, and 34. Of course, 15 to 16 laps on fuel, meaning if we went green all the way, 2 pit stops would be required, one around lap 15 or 16 and one around laps 30 to 32. So things to keep an eye on there, Gavin, is we have gotten the call to join the lobby. And what's that mean? It's almost race time.
Yep, duel number 2 about to be underway here from Daytona. And then afterwards, the final 2 that will advance from the LCQ. That should be fun. Obviously, no more of the weapon, Foxtrot Delta, will be on here. You'll see another 41. That's because the doofus didn't run his right number. He should have already. That should have been enough of a red flag.
Wait, Gavin, did you
But,
say Delta?
yeah.
Like Delta Airlines?
Yeah, I mean,
He
it might
tried
as well
to be.
Delta
No, never mind.
Airlines.
That's,
Oh, you're making
he
a
didn't.
joke
He
I
didn't stick that
recognize.
landing. We'll put it like that.
Good God. You're making a joke that I didn't catch on to. That's dark.
That's messed up, Abyss.
That's why they call you Dark Abyss. God.
Anyways,
That's terrible. We're gonna have to send you to sensitivity training.
Oh.
guys, look at the race cars. Well, actually, I'm still looking at the grandstands because apparently that's very important to this game. But hey, looky right there. Cars on racetrack. We're going to run a pace lap, get everybody in their appropriate positions. Once again, 1 lap away from going green. When we go green, it will be 39 laps at least of green flag racing. So, or at most, sorry, but we're guaranteed 39 more laps at least of this. And I'll tell you right now,
Hey, look.
it's gonna be
The right
fun.
person's in the 41 this race. Take a look, guys.
Isn't that an amazing sight?
That's exciting.
Now, hopefully he doesn't imitate what the 41 did the last duel. That would, I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to see that happen. That would be kind of ironically funny. But
You know what the
yeah,
best part
David,
about
don't
him?
do that.
See what the best part about the wrong 48 is? I get the 22 now, so I'm happy.
Yeah, some things happen as one door closes, another one opens, and as the door slammed on Foxtrot Delta, it opened up Dark Abyss's chance to drive the 22. So
Already contact being made on the pace laps.
Yeah, guys, you gotta remember, his damage is on, so if you are getting damaged now,
Yeah,
that's gonna hurt a little bit.
Bruh. I'm just watching these guys clobber their cars. The race hasn't even started yet, guys.
Fellas,
what are we doing?
we're not in Martinsville, right? You need aerodynamics here. Bending up the fenders and potentially beating in your radiator. I got news for you. You're going to be pretty slow. I would not recommend doing that, especially for those of you that are trying to race your way in. Of course, Duel 1, we saw a caution, I think, within the first 3 laps here. I'll be interested to see if we see the same thing. But again, I'll also preface that and say I would say there's a lot more experience amongst the drivers overall in this field, especially when you talk about racing around each other, which is a big deal at these places. So I definitely think we'll see a lot more green flag racing, especially knowing that they overviewed the Duel 1. With that being said, Abyss, they are rolling up to the line. You got to do this last duel. This time you're up here watching it from above. Call us to the green, buddy.
Here we go. Gamers will lead us to green in the 19. And Ward Barton on the outside. Great restart by the 19. Not so good by Ward as they go down the front stretch. Everyone singles trying to get onto the inside line. As you can tell, they're fading out very fast. Word dropping back, but he does not need to qualify. That is going to be the main thing in the go right now, as everyone's going to be like a snake on that on turn 1 and 2 as they come off turn 2 onto the backstretch. Gamer with a weird approach. Usually don't see races like that, as I see cars moving on the back. That's where I'm going to focus my talk right now, because that is where the racing is going to be as they go into turn 3 for the first time in duel number 2. 3 wide in the middle of the pack. Ooh, puts the 41 in the wall. They keep it green, though. As I spoke too soon, Calamity in the back off of turn 4 as they take the second lap.
Gavin, I have to ask, is 41 cursed tonight, by the way? Is it just a cursed number?
Maybe. I mean, when you put a bonehead in a car they're not supposed to be in, I mean, only bad things can happen. And I think the 41 this time wasn't at fault for whatever happened. It looked like he just got sandwiched in the wall, really. But, yeah. The 16 on that restart didn't go. The Highline couldn't go anywhere because the 16 quite literally missed his mark on said restart. So, I mean, I don't know if Ward Burton got about as good of a restart as he could. We're hearing MJ Cerullo is getting
otherwise known as GGR fan.
That's going to be the 37 Velveeta Cheese machine going to the end of the line.
Let's line them up. Let's do it again, shall we? We saw turn
number 2.
4, lap 1. Got a bit interesting. What will we see on restart number 2 this time? Game controlled, so that might make things a little bit easier. Green flag, back out in duel number 2.
You think moving around through 20-some cars is going to be annoying? How about the next Friday when they have to move through almost 40? That's going to be real fun.
Oh yeah! Oh boy!
So, Calamity off of turn 2 into turn 1 and 2.
Still
3
green.
cars around, make it 4, don't make it 5.
Ward Burton, heavy hitter, started second. Believe it or not, he did not stay in second for very long. Now involved in a crash here. So. Just as a reference, things can change very quickly no matter where you are in this field. Obviously, Tim not concerned about making the race. He's locked in on speed from qualifying, one of those top 28. But again, I talked about he was somebody in particular. Top 10 in these duels, remember, get points. Duel 1 and 2. Tim has stressed many times before that kind of the middle of the races where the stages, things like that have been kind of a weak point for him in terms of getting points, and he feels like that's where he's lost championships. I know that's something that's weighed on his mind this week, just talking to him a little bit, and he's definitely somebody that's looking to try to pick up points early on here in the season by getting those extra available points in this duel. So obviously I'm sure he does not want to be in the position he's in at the moment.
Absolutely not. I mean, that's not something Ward Burton is going to want to have happen. That's going to basically send him to the back of the field now. If I'm Gamer, really, the strategy's got to be to stay on the bottom and just honestly just stay there, because all the action seems to happen behind him right now where all those wrecks are occurring. It's just all of it's behind him. And if I'm him, I mean, let's be real, Gamer's in the safest spot on track right now. Unless someone pulls a Foxtrot Delta, which I'm hoping they don't.
Please don't.
There's literally no way that Gamer gets touched here. But can Gamer win as the 69's trying to steal that spot? I don't think caution will come out just yet. The 69 took a chance. Maybe they'll get straightened out, but right now the 19 of Gamer is just going to want to stay up on the front. Reminder, Gamer is locked into second place. He started on the pole for the night. He's locked in on that front row anyway. This is quite literally just for points for the 19.
Indeed, and probably a little bit of a momentum boost. Look, we've seen Gamer start on pole and on the front row. Go back to season 1, or 2 rather, where we had teams. He was up front a lot early on in races, but he was kind of something I found as a weakness of him as I began to watch races and continue to do so, and pay attention to him specifically, was he couldn't necessarily keep an entire race together. Something would seem to fall apart for him a little bit, and he wasn't able to hold on to it. So even though we're at Daytona, and even though this is a duel, if he can hold on to this and get a good finish, or who knows, even maybe win the duel and get those 10 points, obviously that would be a big momentum boost for him headed into the 250 next week. This.
Yes, indeed. Right now, this is kind of the calm before the storm. Pretty much, this is my kind of react to tell you guys what's going on through these drivers' heads. Okay, the races start to go green. We now kind of have to focus on, okay, what can we do? We're just gonna single file out, do damage control pretty much. What can we do? What can't we do? And who's around us and who isn't around us. Look for these friends. Look for your allies. Right now, it's almost I would say just kind of a snake line right now. Everybody's just kind of reading each other, see what they got. They're right now the leader. No one cares about him unless the guys want to make this lead. Because right now it's only about the 3 that need to qualify, and I don't know where they are or who they are. I apologize on that. I should. That'd be fun to keep up with as the race goes on. But right now it's just like that. So pretty much the top, I would say the top maybe 5 aren't worried about what's going to happen behind them. But everyone else, like 6 on back, they got to worry because I think those are where the transfer spots are at the moment. And you're just going to have to keep on looking. Look how everyone's not really making moves, Kevin. It's just a smooth ride right now.
Indeed, and something I would like to bring up, because this came to my mind, because this could be important, and actually for some people in this race, it could be very crucial in terms of getting track position, whether you're locked into the race or not. And I know some people in this race that would try and attempt to do this, and that may be why we see so much single file right now throughout the entire field, at least in areas. Obviously not everywhere, but in areas we see it. When that caution came out, it was on lap 1. We went green with either 35 or 36 laps to go in this duel. And while that sounds like a lot, here's where I bring this up. They get about 15 to 16 laps on fuel, depending on kind of how you're doing things. In saying that, you would still have to make 2 pit stops from there, right? Pitting, say 16 laps into a run and then around 32, which would put you, I would say you'd have to pit around 3 or 4 to go. Well, what if I told you it was possible, if you are really smart about it and use the draft to your advantage, that you could save 2 laps on each of your runs and try to cut out an entire pit stop? That may be what some guys are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can easily save fuel. What I've been doing, though, is I've been periodically checking out the 18 and the 4-car pack he has. He managed to fall off the pack and has gotten himself back acquainted in the rest of his pack. I believe there's only 2 stragglers, maybe a couple more, but the 18's back in action. So he's back in action now. That's a Sims, a heavy hitter. We got Stein up here in the pink 69. What a meme of a car right there. He's running up towards the front too. Stein in 5th. Currently running a good race. I can say from his OMA experience, he is a good plate racer. He can run the plate tracks quite well. He's pretty smart about his decisions. But when it comes to saving, I think he's a skeptic on it. He's not too much of a guy that likes to try those things, and I can tell you that from first-hand experience in the one VNS race I've ever ran, being the Daytona, being a night Daytona race that required just quite literally a 1-lap
calamity.
Yellow flag should be out. There it is. But back to Stein, I mean, he could be quite literally a weapon in sense of, someone to look for doing extremely well. And I think if it comes down to fuel saving, though, that could be his kryptonite, man. But he got the speed easily to be a contender here tonight. No doubt about it.
Gavin, just as quickly as we were talking about fuel mileage, this caution should take that out of the equation, at least for the moment. Everybody would still have to pit one more time, but I don't think you're going to be able to save, obviously, to cut that out of the equation with this many laps to go. So pitting now back on the table, fuel mileage back off the table, and for those like Buckscaster who had kind of fallen off the pack due to some incidents, this is going to be a saving grace for them. So we look at that. This is going to be a savior for a lot of people, but Abyss at the same time. Now we get to see things reset. This whole line, this whole field now, 2 by 2 all the way through for this restart once again. As the green flag back out. Let's try this again.
This lead is Drew, and I'm not sure who was in the...
Kyler Scott up in front.
Scott. But right now, Drew with an amazing restart. Maybe the 86 let him in there, but perfect restart by Drew there as the war continues at Daytona. SW Golf in the 43 will slide in off of turn number 2, but they're still side by side off of turn 2. Right now, they're still battling back there like it is a beast, people. This is insane. They're going to battle all the way up into turn number 4, single file. Around
that's the big
calamity.
Yes.
Where's the caution? There it is.
There it is.
That official is sleepy tonight.
How about 5th place, Billy Bob Bartholomew, I like to call him. Lord Billis running 5th right now in duel number 2. I'm pretty sure he would be transferring right now if this race ended as it stood. How about that, though? Billis running up in the top 5. Maybe our plate track season in my league really helped him out.
Indeed, I wonder though. Obviously, now typically, and by the way, we like to mess with some people on here, right? Sometimes just for fun. But now we often talk about Billis driving a dinky car. Not the case tonight. Seems to be very fast. Seems to be very smart about what he's doing, and it's got him up in the top 5 right now. And I believe, and don't quote me on this again, I probably should have studied the qualifying board a little bit more in terms of where everybody was at. But then again, there's 50-something drivers to remember. But I believe Billis is somebody that has to race his way in here, so doing a good job of trying to keep that intact and keeping his hopes alive here early on. But another caution there. That was a massive crash, too. Sent a lot of guys to the back with damage. We're going to re-rack them, restack them, and here we go again to this.
Yes, again, Drew with another amazing restart on the front row. He will take the lead easily into turn number 1. He will try to help out Gamers on the 19 on the high side. Looks like that high side might get a little bit developed. He brings the 19 down. The outside line is still there. Ooh, they're hitting the walls. They're bouncing off the walls.
The wall, Logan
Calamity!
V.
Oh, turn 2.
Logan Vera up into the wall there. Unable to hang on to it. That's going to be yellow. The 74 also gets up into the wall as well as a few others involved back there. Couldn't quite tell. How about, though, the 99, Trip McGinnis, back up here, up towards the front. He's trying to make his mark here. It's always a good... It's never a true plate race without Trip McGinnis. Let's be real.
Indeed, no, we always love to talk about Eddie, obviously. We're going to call him Trip McGinnis, but just so everybody's clear, that is Eddie Kalegi. Many may be familiar with him from either the stop motion things that he does on YouTube, his involvement with the Online Motorsports Association, and the Xbox Truck Racing Association over the years, as well as some real-life broadcasting and things that he does. Things like that. You may be familiar with him from other places, but here he's known as Trip McGinnis, as he likes to be, and fun to see Eddie doing well. He ran very well at Sonoma last season, which kind of caught me and I think a few others off guard, but it was nice to see that from him. But his strongest suit, definitely these plate tracks, and he's definitely showing that again here.
Yeah, Drew going to try to give some help to the 19 again to help pull him ahead of Lord Billy. But now Billis in 2nd, looking to make a move. Trip McGinnis in 3rd. Trip McGinnis, Vince Welch, Tony Stewart, whatever you want to call him, Eddie. He's in 3rd right now.
Can't forget about Skip.
Bottom lane, starting to form. Looks like these guys have kind of gotten acquainted with each other a bit. They're getting a little bit more calm around each other, and we're not seeing as much aggressive racing going on, but there's still some aggression back there.
Well, because let me tell you why, because guess what? Anyone that's not locked in does not want to see this line. They don't want to see it. They want to see them battle. They want to see people make moves. Because they know if they get straight out like this, no one's going to want to move, and there's nowhere for them to move. So that's kind of right now, because I believe we're under, I want to say 20 to go at least. So
around
that's
15. 14.
15 to go, yeah, so around 15 to go. In 15 laps, the war at Daytona ends with this duel right here. This duel will decide the 3 that get in, and no one wants to go to the LCQ. No one wants to. I didn't want to. I happily doesn't have to. But right now, these guys are knowing that everyone besides 3 of them and the rest of you that have already qualified do not have to make it in. As you can see, drivers are still making it too wide. They're trying to make this outside line work. Everyone knows it as the 14 gets a little wobbly in the front stretch there, but here comes a side. Oh, never mind. Calamity on turn 2.
Now, we heard reports of the 99 lagging. I don't know if that was the cause or not. It was, so a tough break for Eddie there, and depending on what race officials do, I know they've done it in the past. I'll have to see if he maybe gets an EOL until that lag clears up. We'll have to see which way they decide to sway on that, but again, this race keeps throwing curveballs at these guys, and you got to try to go around them and try to miss them. Fuel out of the equation now for the remainder of this one. And I tell you what we're going to do, at least for the first lap we go back in here, guys. We haven't done it all night. How about an Abyss? This one's for you. Box Cave Dweller Box Cave Furniture, rather, box it up. We're going to listen to the sounds of these 20-something odd stock cars head around this 2.5-mile super speedway that is Daytona, the world center of racing. Let's box these things up and let's ship you some sound. Back out of the box it up segment. We shipped you some sound, and well, I guess the shipping truck crashed on the way there. Got so close, but either way, caution back out. Of course, that brought to you by Box Cave Furniture, the creators of the Box Cave Dweller. And let me just tell you guys, it's a sim rig, but it's a sim rig that solves a common problem. One that many, especially if you have girlfriends or wives, that they will tend to have with it. That is the fact that it can look like an eyesore and takes up a lot of space, especially if you have it, say, somewhere like a living room or something like that. Well, the Box Cave Dweller, its goal is to eliminate that issue and still give you the same use out of your sim rig that you desire. That being that when you're not using it, it folds down into a simple piece of household furniture like a coffee table, so it doesn't look like an eyesore until you're using it. You fold it back out when you're using it. Works just fine. Fold it back down when you're done so you don't get yelled at. I'd say that's a pretty good trade-off. So boxcavefurniture.com, check it out. Comes out later this year. In fact, you can pre-order them right now. 6 laps to go in Duel 2. Gavin.
Let's do our end of the race ones to watch here. Abyss, since you're the first one coming, who do you think's gonna win this crazy duel here?
Well, you know, I'm very impressed with these top two, Gavin and Kevin. I'm very impressed. These guys have been up front all race long, and I'm going to go with the man that actually started on the pole and will start second next week at Daytona. I'm going to go with Gamers. He seems like a very fast car. This man seems like he knows what he's doing. He's been up front, hasn't lost the top 5 at all, as they have a little wreck in the back that won't bring out a caution. This car's hitting the wall. But that is my pick and one to watch.
And that's going to be a tough break for some guys. And my Circle B Diecast one to watch is honestly one that's hard to turn away from. In fact, it's so hard to turn away from that I even had him on the picks that we did on social media. Me, Gavin, and a few others did some picks beforehand. I think Abyss, you might have been on there. But he was on my picks before the race, and I think I'm going to keep him here. He's the defending champion. And he won 50% of the races last season. Drew LMAO. I'm going to stick with him. I think he can win this race. He's had a lot of speed tonight. Been up here a lot. I'm going to keep an eye on Drew to win this. Gavin?
Not a bad pick at all, but I've seen some crazy things happen, and I'm going to go with somebody who likes to make magic happen towards the end of these types of races. He sits kind of right down the middle of this field, but he's known for his late race moves. I'm going to pick the 18 of Asylums, who sits a little bit deeper than your guys' picks, but still has that plate track talent and plate track luck to come win this race.
Indeed.
Here he goes. The bottom line is checked up, and he is checked out. He is almost all the way up to fifth.
Hearing reports of some lag from Haha Boog. You guys are very familiar with him. Hopefully that doesn't cause too many issues.
I see it. Oh my
boy.
gosh, that's horrible.
I didn't want to say
Somebody for a
anything.
second, it looks like they were wrecking.
Didn't want to
That is
say
bad. He
anything.
is actually caused
That is
a
no
wreck.
bueno, Boog.
There it is.
I didn't want to say
There's
anything,
that
Gavin.
wreck.
Oh, there we go. Caution. I believe, guys,
Haha
it's
Boog
gonna
is
send
doing
us
the Cupid
into
shuffle
overtime, maybe.
mid-race. Haha Boog, man.
Well, guys, I got some great news and some bad news. What do you guys want?
Well, let's take the bad news first.
Bad news is we're about to come back with 2 to go and an overtime restart.
What's the good news?
It's about to be 2 to go and an overtime restart, and only 3 positions will lock into the actual race, people. So this restart's gonna get crazy very fast because again we only 3 drivers. We have no idea. They could be up front. They could be at the very back. It's gonna be fun to see how this is decided. But right now, Drew and Gamers are going to restart on the front row, Gavin. Here we go with, I believe, an overtime restart.
Circuit Diecast overtime.
You know, funny thing about my pick, I noticed the silence was kind of right up towards the middle of the field. I was going to pick Billy Bob Bartholomew James Jarquan III, otherwise known as Lord Billis. But I decided against that, just for the simple fact of, I don't know.
Going out all the way down.
Oh my goodness.
Asylum in the
taking each other out back there.
So this is interesting. They're still green for now.
Yeah. Interesting to say.
I guess the official just took the night off. He's like, no, I'm gonna quit.
Oh,
for
car
overtime.
on the
You guys
back
don't
straight,
need me."
spinning 1 car
Looks
around.
like the 4 tried passing below the double yellow. I'm kind of confused about what's going on here. Towards the back. Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
We're still
I'm
green.
very confused. Let's
Still
get
green.
up to the front where people are driving normal.
White flag.
Shall we? Drew in the lead coming down to what should be the white flag. Ward Burton looking to make a move. It might come now, it might come later.
Oh, by the way,
Either way,
look
let's
behind
see.
him. Oh,
Yeah,
Ward
there's a lot
Burton's
of
there.
cars behind him. The 28, the 43, the 69, all of them right there ready to try and win this thing. The 12 trying not to give Ward Burton any chance. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. Maybe Ward Burton is trying to keep the points he already has. Being that I believe the top 10 get points in this. Am I right? So we'll have to see if he can make the move.
He makes
Yes,
the
he's gonna
move.
go to the
Drew
high
blocks
side.
it.
He gets kind of chop blocked just a
Drew,
little bit. They're
it's
going to be
gonna
side
be
by
3 by
side.
3. Holy cow!
Oh! Who
won
thing?
that?
It wasn't Ward Burton, but was it the 28?
Up on the picks.
Oh my!
I clipped
Turbo.
that. If somebody in the stream, if you're watching, please clip that for us. That was amazing.
That almost was reminiscent of the Daytona 500 finish.
was.
There, Drew being Austin Cindric and and Ward Burton.
It's a literal
Wow,
tie.
they tied.
This is the second time in RHRL history this has
Oh my
happened.
gosh.
Tied.
Not the first,
Oh
the
my.
second. Who knew it could happen
tied?
twice?
Does that mean we have to interview both of them? I'm gonna.
We'll try to get all this
Who's the
updated.
tie?
Somebody in the party clip that when it uploads. We'll have to review that.
No,
That
I
was
got a
kinda
clip of
crazy.
it. I don't know how good mine is. It was from the inside, so we'll see. Yes. Wow. Hey, Gavin, you talked about him pre-race. He's in the show.
Oh my! I gotta take a look here.
By the way, I should point out, again, we get to do this one more time. 21 lap dash here coming up shortly with the LCQ. If you guys didn't like that, I don't know what you're here for, because that's the best you can get. 3 wide like that coming, man.
Toasted's here. He'll be able to make the LCQ.
He's already qualified in. I don't think he needs
Yeah,
to race
Gavin,
the LCQ.
he's locked. But yeah, guys,
I'm
hope you
trying to
enjoyed
look at this
that.
clip.
And I believe, Jeffrey, you said Drew did the game scored him as the winner, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna we know it's him, so we're gonna get him in here.
I don't know. In this clip I took, it looks like it could be. Hold on, I'm trying to review this clip. We're doing a booth review right now. Hey yo, what?
You do know a silence locked in, right?
Oh my goodness. I'm trying to get a picture. There we go. I want to take a screenshot because I got an aerial POV of this. I'm going to take a screenshot, send this into the league. Look at that finish right there.
That's
My
one for the
goodness,
media.
As I'm stuck in the race because I was too busy taking a clip.
So wait, yeah, oh my god, yeah, what's the time between him and Turbocharger? An exact tie. Can we get Turbocharger in here as well? Like, how do we break the tie? Like,
The game did. I don't know. We're not going to question the game. We'll let the game deal with that. All right. Yeah. But hey, regardless.
Turbo got robbed.
From the aerial cam, it looks like it's Turbo, because his rear bumper's farther forward.
What I will say though is this.
So we're not going to go against game score.
No, yeah, I've seen this before. I will say this though, regardless, when you look at this either way, that's still a W for Turbo. Remember, he did not put up a qualifying lap. He started dead last in this field. He literally finished at the same time as the race winner. He's in the show. I don't know how much he's really going to be bothered by tying there, because he's in the show regardless. Speaking of which, the man that won the race, the defending champion, now going to be tied once again with a points lead because, yeah, why wouldn't he be? I picked him. Abyss, how about you take duel number 2 winner by literally, like, I don't know how to describe it in distance because there was none, but Abyss, he won the duel. You're with him now.
Drew LMAO, you got a copy, my good friend.
I got you, buddy.
Man, a win by, I'm going to say a fraction. I mean, a literal fraction of 8 inch. There, I think it's like less than a centimeter. I don't know it's less than a centimeter of a win, but that was insane. We thought you had word blocked, but then here comes Turbo. Explain what happened on that final corner.
Yeah. I won't lie. We were in a party together, me, Turbo, and Tim. It was just about working with people you can trust. Did a good strategy call. Took only 1 can of fuel and was like, I think we were, 9 laps short, and I was banking off of how the race was going to start off and a lot of cautions. Got scared for a second when we had a decent amount of green flag laps. Fortunately, got the cautions we needed, made it on fuel, and off of turn 4, I told Tim that I'm going to door you for the win, and I doored him for the win. I didn't expect Turbo. I mean, I knew me and Tim were hitting each other and losing momentum, but I didn't expect it to be that close. And before the results popped up, after we crossed the line, I thought I had lost the race by 1,000th of a second. I was very surprised that I still won that race. But all in all, it was a fun race. Unfortunately, we didn't have all the green flag laps that we were all expecting. I mean, I understand it's 22 cars in a laggy lobby, but happy to get the dual win.
Well, now I gotta ask you this very important question: when that final caution came out, putting you guys to overtime, were you shaking just a little bit, knowing you got to do this one more time?
No, because I mean, maybe if it was like the real race, but it's just the duels, and I mean, you're just learning people you can trust and people you can race with, and yeah, I mean, it was an overall fun race. I'm not sure how the 250 is gonna go or the 500. I don't really know what to call it. But hopefully we can have long green flag laps runs. I mean, and have some fun 2x2 racing.
Yes, indeed. And I just got one more thing. It was a pleasure to see my, I guess, metaphorical teammate win tonight, win the duel.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's always good when Penske wins, right?
Oh, it's always fantastic.
Unless it's Austin Cindric.
Gavin, Drew, do you have any questions for Duel 2 winner?
No, I'm good.
Sorry, I was trying to get my mic.
The finish was enough for me, honestly.
Here we go.
The tie was enough for me. I literally took a screenshot of it, Kevin. If you want to post that to our thing.
I'm just glad that Timothy J. Moore can no longer call me a bitch for not wanting for a win.
Oh.
I didn't know if I was allowed to cuss, so I spelled it out.
Well, dang, Jeffrey.
Well, I'll say this, by the way, Drew, you did finish. You're starting, actually, ironically enough, the top 2 in points this last season won each duel, so I thought that was interesting. But also, now you two are tied for the lead, so you're back right where you left off. So nice to see, and thanks for the amazing finish, man. That was awesome. I mean, that gets me really excited for this LCQ.
Me too. I mean, of course, I'm tied with the one person I hate the most. I don't know why we're tied. He's such a bum. No, I'm kidding. That was my... Hey, I just want to say I picked Duel 1, and I got it right. That's all I'm saying.
Indeed. Well, thank you, Drew, and yeah, we're gonna get who made it.
Dang.
Oof. I hope Drew's audio. Yeah. Wait, so who was the last one that made it in? So let's look at it like this. So we just got officially, we heard who made it in Duel 1 earlier. Duel 2, the top 3 that did not make it in on speed via qualifying, meaning the top 28 in qualifying. Raced for it here. It was the top 3 in the duel that would make it in. We've now filled 34 spots. Here's the 3 that made it in. We talked about Turbo from last to essentially first. He tied with Drew. So we'll call it last the first challenge, even though the game scored him second. He was dead even with Drew. So Turbo makes it in, defying all odds. Aha Boog, with a little bit of lag, makes it in. He finished 9th in his duel. He will fill in position 32 on, or actually, well, he would take 32 spot, but obviously he won't start 32nd. And the final spot, I believe, goes to Landon Lyle, otherwise known as Lyle Chat, if I understood that right. So, now, Gavin, Abyss, we know who's made it into the field for the most part. There are 2 spots left. If you could send it to one of them. But, so, we now head in to the last chance qualifier. It is going to be 21 laps. I don't know if we're actually turning the fuel down or not. If we don't turn the fuel down, there will be a pit stop required if we turn the fuel, or if we don't turn the fuel down. If we don't turn the fuel, or if we do turn the fuel down, pit stops won't be an issue. But 21 laps around here is all it's going to take. The top 2 in this race finish. This is all the cars from Duel 1 and 2 that missed the 250. Guys, what are we expecting here? As we have gotten the starting grid as well, but Gavin, I'll start with you. What are we expecting here?
This is just going to be straight up cutthroat racing. I really don't know who to expect really to come out of this one, but some guys that I've seen do well at these play tracks, especially tonight, that I'm thinking will do great. From what Jeffrey sent me here, that's what I'm going to go off of, but I think Billis may do good. Maybe we'll see some Material Zero out there. Maybe Crotum. Alex could do good. Just a few guys to throw out there. Lyle is in this one as well. So those couple of guys can possibly get in here, but maybe we'll have a surprise. honestly, I think it would be amazing to see Brad Stover make it. So if Brad Stover makes it, I will be ecstatic.
Indeed, and I'll ask
If Brad
this.
Stover makes it, he deserves a ride in my league.
He's still looking for
Quite
a
literally.
Bad Fast Racing League ride. So yeah, if you're a team owner out there, might be watching right now for Bad Fast. But Abyss, I'll ask you this, and you have a little bit of a unique situation here. We look at this. You are one spot away from being in this race yourself.
I was.
Obviously, you don't have to be there now. You're in the show. What are you expecting to see out of these drivers? Obviously, we thought the pressure was high in the duels. Oh, it is really high now. There are 14 cars going for just 2 remaining spots. You can't get more pressure than that. What is your mindset in here as a driver coming in here, and what are you expecting to see?
So you remember at the top of the hour when I joined and I said that this was the war of Daytona? Well, this is the true battleground of the war. This is where this is the final chapter, Kevin. This is what the leftovers are bringing to the table, and I see a lot of names in here that I expected to be up front, and I raced against half of these guys, like Chaos. He was the man that was originally going to be taking my spot if I didn't accidentally cut his nose off. I still apologize for that. So technically, I should be where he is right now. He should be safely dancing along in the flower field, knowing he qualified in. That's the difference right now. So again, one small move would decide who gets in and who doesn't. That's what everyone has to think. In 20 laps, Kevin, at Daytona, again with 14 drivers that want to make it into a race, that's not much time. This is gonna be a fun time, and I could tell you who I think's gonna win, but they could most likely finish last, or they could finish third and not make it. Because right now, the only spot you're going to feel safe in is first. Second, you're one spot away from losing. First, you at least know you're winning and you have a fun shot. But this is for the last 2 spots of the field. And I just know we're going to at least see a 3-wide finish, at least for the lead, Kevin.
Bold prediction there. So just got word that it is going to be 1 times where I figured it was going to be, but we just got that confirmed officially. We are still doing a pace lap, so 20 laps of green flag racing, 21 in total. One of those, of course, going to be taken up by the pace lap. So, Gavin, with that being said, we're about to get into this thing, but before that, Circle B Diecast starting grid for this last chance qualifier to fill the last 2 spots, the last row of the Red Hot 250. Who's starting where?
All right, well, for first, we got Suspect Bum Z on the pole. Buckscaster rolling off second. Third, Chaos is 0. Fourth, Billy Bob Bartholomew, otherwise known as Lord Billis. The GOAT Brad Stover in fifth. Mark Silas, otherwise known as JGR Fan, starting in 6th. Material Zero, the fan favorite, starts 7th. Lyle Chat starting off 8th. Crotum 9th. Asher J Live 10th. Air Just Cuz, a commentator friend, call him commentator Cuz, he is 11th. Scotty will be starting off 12. Noah starting off 13. And how about this one? He's known as Minnie Gillen. I don't know for the wrong reason or for the right. But Graham's Taint starting 14th here. Just made it in last second here. Maybe we'll see him up there at the end of this race.
Indeed, who knows? Actually, if I remember, I don't know. Was he even here for the duels, or did he miss both?
Nope, he was not home.
He missed, so this is his only chance. He's got to go from the back of this duel from 14th all the way to 1st or 2nd to try to get into this thing. He's got a challenge ahead of him, and not to jinx him. Oh. Okay, so our pulse setter actually for the LCQ not going to be here. Couldn't make it, so that means he officially will not make the 250. Unfortunate for him. That does mean that the rows will move up, so things are going to be adjusted a little bit. We'll see that when we get into the race. But either way, guys, the pressure's building here. Trying to get these guys out on the racetrack. No pitting required, so that's going to be good. So this is going to be straight up racing. And going back to what I was saying too about Graham's, I've got to say, I have one, and I hope I'm wrong, but I have one concern for him, and that is similar to somebody say like Fabiko or like Haha Boog. He's had lag issues in the past. I really hope that doesn't plague him, but typically guys that have lag, it's usually a little bit more magnified here at Daytona and Talladega. So hopefully that doesn't hinder him too much. We'll have to wait to see what happens, but man, I'm excited. 2 spots to be filled, 14 guys going at it for this one. It's going to be tight. Of course, there is a chance we'll have to look over as admins after the race if some things were done during the duels, that weren't advisable. We may see some adjustments within the field, but either way, yeah, I can. But either way, we're looking at this, and this is assuming what we're going to have, and I think we're in for a real interesting show of driving here, and I'll be very interested to see how intense these guys get off the bat. Are they going to be calm at the beginning, or are they going to go hard, try to get everything they can off the start? I think that's the biggest question I have.
Well, Kevin, it's about to be the final countdown, and this is going to be an interesting countdown, Kevin. I'm just going to say, Brad Stover's going to start third. I think that's going to be the main highlight. Again, we got to look at all of these names. Most of them we've seen race for wins last season, Kevin, and the fact that we might not see some of them race at Daytona, that has to hurt. Some of them, or Gavin, anyone, that has to hurt. Like, again, Material Zero, a fan favorite. Last year, he almost won a couple races. Like, he might not make it into the Daytona. That has to put some pressure on his mind.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I could definitely see that. Honestly, I'd love to see Alex get in. I know Rock just said that in the stream. Rock's rooting for you, Alex. That's got to be an extra confidence boost.
By the way, Rock, gotta go.
Rock
I haven't said that in a while. Gotta get it out there.
Cheering you on. That's got to feel good. Alex has some fans out there.
Come on, cheer up, Alex. Hey, if you're in this one, you got a chance.
Alex isn't too optimistic, Rock. You might have to give him some word of encouragement.
Throw in the rock of wisdom.
I don't care.
Debatable.
Trying to sweep the board.
I'll debate that one.
I thought that was me.
No, all day debate that as well. I thought it was me.
Oh, let's go look at the votes. If we really want to argue this one out, I'm willing to argue.
I want to recount.
While Gavin does that, I do want to say,
where's the rewards at?
Give a shout out real quick to a sponsor of ours. We do them for the ones to watch every race, but didn't get to kind of add this on again. If you're just joining us or you've joined us a little bit more recently, we've had some amazing racing tonight, but ones to watch and things like that, always brought to you by Circle B Diecast. Been a long time partner of ours for really, not since the very beginning, but very, very close to it. So again, I'm glad to have them back with us this season. And look, we like to support those that support us, right? Go to CircleBDiecast.com if you're a diecast collector. You just want some memorabilia to support your favorite drivers, whether it be a NASCAR, IndyCar, or even some dirt racing stuff, things like that. They have all kinds of stuff on there, from diecast, t-shirts, replica helmets, full size or mini, and some other little things on there as well. Go check them out, and when you do, use code RHRL at checkout to receive free shipping on any purchases $20 or more. And tell you what, I've said this a lot, I'll say it again. If you're like me and you buy die casts in bulk, that shipping total adds up. So don't pay for that. Use code RHRL instead, and that shipping cost, well, not going to be a problem for you. We thank Circle B Diecast as well as Box Cave Furniture for their support of us and for being on with us for another season of what promises to be amazing racing, and I can't wait for it.
Here it is. I found it. RHRL Season 1 rewards.
Okay.
Best broadcaster.
Is Alex... Okay. Well, hang on. Let's play a game, everyone.
I want to recount.
Cap.
I want to recount.
The people have spoken.
I'll call.
It's in the Hall of Fame. Season 1 awards. Most popular admin, Casey.
Next up on
Best
Factor Cap.
broadcaster, me. Best
Ooh,
series,
well, there we go.
Xfinity. But most popular driver, Material Zero. That's obvious. Most underrated driver, Gamer. Most anticipated was Casey and Vinny. Comeback was Hades and Vinny. Super Speedway Specialist was Toasted. Speedway Specialist was Tim. Short Track Specialist was Casey. Road Course Ringer was Sideways. Laggiest was Fabico. Good God. Smelliest was Boog. Drama
course.
Queen, this'll get you guys. Mr. Slidechild. Goofy Goober was Haha Boog as well. That's pretty good. That's a good lineup right there for rewards right there.
By the way,
Oh my
I should
goodness,
point
I can't
out.
even be mad
I should
about
point
that.
out these weren't randomly picked. We put options up. I think this is after season 1 or the victory lap. Actually, and I think this is the first time these have been revealed to the public. I'm not sure. I don't remember if we put them up or not. But
I think we did. They're in the Hall of Fame.
I'm trying to remember if we put
I'm
them
checking
up
this Hall
on
of
the-
Fame.
Find it.
Where's the Hall of
Here's
Fame?
the
I'm
thing,
checking
it's
the Hall of
kinda
Fame.
These were
sad,
voted on
but
by the
I don't
drivers.
know. I don't know how to get through our Discord as good as Material. That's kind of embarrassing.
But yeah, I
Where
don't
is the
remember
Hall
if
of
we
Wait,
got
where
to
is
put
the
them
Hall of
up on
Fame?
social media.
It is
So hearing those
under-
for the first time, yeah, some of those pretty
This
comical.
is
I had a
Red
lot of
Hot
fun with
tab.
those.
All the way at
We
the
did
bottom
them.
of this is
I
Red
kind of
Hot
like to
tab
do them
right
again
above the
at
hub.
the end of the season.
Is it?
Yes.
Wait, hold on. Okay, I'm at the. I saw
Either way,
other.
though,
Wait, hold
Point proven.
on. I'm looking for it. Hold on. I'm looking for this. I will not stop until I
Now we
find
need
this.
to. Now we need to get an invite.
Still waiting for
From
that. We're
good
having a
old
little bit of stall
Jeffrey
time here.
Bezos.
Hope you guys are hanging with us. We got some racing still left. 21 laps again.
Oh, there it is.
20
Hall of
of
Fame.
green. LCQ. We got to fill the last row,
Second
the
one
last
of
two
this. Read it
spots
loud and clear
of the
for
Red
us
Hot
all.
250. That's coming up soon, and stay with us.
Best
We're having a little bit of fun right now,
broadcaster,
though.
Dark Abyss.
Oh, we wait.
I'll screenshot
All
it.
of it's fun.
I'll screenshot it. I'll copy and paste the whole awards in our chat, in the chat of this, on the chat right now.
I want to recount.
Do it.
I want a hard ass.
You guys want to see them?
Recount.
Gavin's going to put them in there for you.
I want a hard recount.
No, screw this.
Sir, you're going
I
to
want
have
a
to blame
hard
Google
recount.
Forms for that. You're going to have to get Google to do that, not us. That's above our...
Well, then I'll call
Our level
Google. I'll
of
start calling
expertise.
everyone. I'll start calling. I want a recount on the
I
votes.
gotta pull up this.
I want voter
Let me pull up
certification.
Discord real
This
quick.
is not a secure election. It was rigged. It was a rigged election. It was rigged. I was robbed.
Anyway, so...
All right, fellas.
All the admins trying to get the lineup finalized here. We aren't too far away from getting
I
this
am
thing rolling.
copying and
I
pasting this whole
cannot
message.
wait for this, though, guys. As Gavin and Abyss try to find the things that fuel them, the driver
I want to do.
opinionated
I want to do
votes
vote.
from
I want
season
to do
1.
vote. I want to do vote.
All right, be prepared. Chat is going to. I've reached the character limit.
Don't you do it. Don't
I
you
don't care.
do it,
Split it in
Gavin.
half.
Don't you do it, Gavin. Do it.
Now I gotta do from road course specialist down.
Don't you love this, people?
This is what you came to see, not the racing. You came to see us argue about who's the best. According to the driver.
Clearly, they don't know taste, Gavin. They don't know taste. They don't have taste. Robin, I'm getting robbed. I want to recount.
You are not Greg Biffle, Jeffrey. You are Jeffrey.
Instead of being Greg Biffle, Jeffrey, you should be inviting us. Or what?
But you're not. No, that would be evil.
You know, instead of being Greg Biffle, you should do the job.
But you didn't
that
win
you were
anything.
hired
If
for.
you're in this race, that means you lost.
Technically, you didn't win the poll.
Just being honest. By the way, I'm talking to the guy that's helped
Actually,
us with live counts all
technically,
night.
Jay Royster was the poll winner until he left.
Yeah.
So technically, he won the poll. So
Yeah, Jeffrey's trying. I called him Jeffy by accident. Jeffrey's trying to get us to give him an interview because because he got the pole for this race, but in reality, he didn't get the pole, and not to insult anyone, but I mean, if I'm not wrong.
He had to
If
get the
you're
pole
in this
by way
race,
of
that
drivers
means you
leaving.
lost and need a last chance. Like,
Hey, Kevin, can I
Just
say
saying.
something?
Sure,
You
go
know what's
ahead.
the best part about all this is that I'm breathing fresher air than him because I actually qualified for the Daytona
Ooh,
500.
shots from the booth and the driver. Ouch. Ouch. I don't know how you can come back from that one, but either way, guys,
I would
we're having some fun up here as
I
we
would-
wait.
I would call him Jeffrey Bezos, but Jeffrey Bezos is a winner and Rocco's not yet. So
He didn't have to go through the LCQ.
We're having too much fun up here.
Jeffrey Bezos wouldn't have had
We're
to go
having too
through the
much fun.
LCQ.
Someone needs to stop this. Someone needs to stop. We're having too much fun up here. We're having too much fun up here.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Jeffrey said
I guess we don't.
Jeffrey
That
the
means we
bridge
can't
jumper.
interview you then. So, man.
Jeffrey said he's going to turn into Jeffrey the
This is what the
bridge
game
jumper
for.
now.
People. This is what you paid for, people. You
Oh,
didn't pay
no.
to see the
Did we
race. You
say
paid to
that?
see the
Oh.
commentators.
Okay, we said it anyway. Huh? Since when?
You know what? I'll be nice. If you actually win your way in, I will give you my starting spot. How about that? I will give you my
Okay,
starting
do we have
spot
an
if you
ETA though on
actually
start?
win.
In all seriousness. Oh, we need an invite, or whenever y'all get. Okay.
The bag
Are you
is
guys in the
being
loading
sold.
screen, or are you still waiting for the timer? What?
I'm
Oh
gonna
my-
hit you. I'm gonna hit.
Okay, guys, it is race time. Glad I asked for that when I did,
My
because otherwise,
God.
there's a very good chance we wouldn't have
Our
got in the
drivers are
race.
supposed to be helping. You guys are supposed to be helping. You're hurting us.
Well,
You're
Jeffrey's
hurting
more
us.
worried about getting his interview, so that he's not gonna get. So
He should be
He's
worried
gotta
about
win-
racing
He's got to
in.
win to get that.
He needs to win.
I kid, kind of.
I'll even sprinkle it. If he can win, I'll give him my starting spot, and I'll start at the rear.
Hang on. Is that a bet? Hold on, no. Is that a bet you're willing to keep, Abyss? Because this would be a fun
Yes,
story.
it is. It is a full bet.
All
Remember,
right.
I
You
finished
heard
8th
it right
in
here.
the duel.
If Jeffrey makes this race, Abyss is
But
going
he
to
has to
swap
win. He
starting
has to win.
spots.
He has to win. Race, Kevin. He has to come first. Not second. Not third.
Oh, he
first.
has to win the LCQ.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna add a pace lap. But the extra goal here for Buckscaster, who's been in the party with us, helping us all night.
Everybody ought to
Abyss
go down pit road.
has made a bet with
Honestly.
him, guys. If Jeffrey can win this duel, he will swap starting spots with him, putting Abyss in 35th place to start the 250, while Buckscaster starts, I believe, about 8th? Or,
Yeah, I
sorry,
finished
Hey, Jeffrey.
8th in the duel.
Jeffrey, if
So,
you
yeah.
win, I'll swap spots with you. You can go on the road.
That
You're starting in the
wouldn't mean
rear.
anything. No. I don't think it would be an issue to have Abyss swap spots. Yeah, he would literally
Hey,
be
Abyss,
starting
Rock
worse.
has a message for you. Rock has a message for Abyss. He says, Abyss to the trailer and bring your teleprompter with you.
We love Rock. Guys, by the way, thank Rock in the chat. Man's been on iRacing a lot, but he still cares about this community so much that he still is willing to keep up with it in many different ways. So, not to mention all the
Absolutely.
things he does on iRacing.
Check out the Facebook group, too, that Rock runs. It's awesome. You wouldn't know how many leagues are still around if you weren't in that group. So I can tell you right now, that's a good way to find some other guys to race with and some new groups maybe to meet and greet with new people and race with new people.
Indeed. We love Rock. Rock is the GOAT.
This is gonna be an
Speeding penalties
interesting
under pace
race.
laps.
Is speeding under the pace laps. Nice.
Good way to start
Well-
the LCQ.
I'm just gonna say I'm pretty comfortable right now because I don't think he can win it, boys. Al can get the job done.
I love
putting
this
it- I'm
bet,
doubling
though.
down.
This has
I'll
added
get the
another
job done,
element
boys.
Is it
to
too
this
early?
race.
Is it too early to make our picks?
A little bit. I would say a little bit.
I'm sorry, I ain't going
I don't
bar.
care where this guy is. He can be lagged out. I'm still picking him, and I'm sitting on board with him right now.
Please tell me
This
it's not
being
Mark.
probably the biggest meme race of the night.
We're gonna line them up, and we're gonna
Gridlock,
send
thank
them
you for
to
following.
the green.
Glad to have you.
Indeed.
And we're going green this
Getting
time,
ready
correct?
for the LCQ. We're going green this time. This is final 2 spots. The first and second place of this race will make the final row, 35th and 6th, I believe, of the RHRL 250 next Friday night. So this is for the final spots to the big thing next week.
And remember,
66 is on pole.
if the 44
Actually,
wins
no, the
this race, he
44.
starts much better than the man that starts second. So he has a lot to gain by winning this race. And I have a lot to lose.
Indeed. It's a bold bet to this. You still have a few seconds to retrieve it if you want. Never mind, no you don't.
Brad Stover doesn't go
Green flag.
44 onto the lead. Green flag is out 47 to second. He's in a transfer spot. Chaos is in third. He's the first one out, being battled by the 47 of Billis. Well, now this is the transfer. Only 21 laps, I believe, if I'm not wrong, or 20 laps to decide this.
Now.
19 now, sorry. Very spread out. That's not what the front two want to see, because one good hookup and these guys are no longer in. Will they make a move? No, they're going to stay single file. The question is, when is the move going to come? But right now, the 44 is on the point and will lead lap number 1 off of turn 4 unless no one makes a move. They're all just going to fall behind this man in the 44, guys.
Absolutely. Right now, I don't expect a lot of aggressive racing unless you're farther in the back. We already got 2 guys that weren't able to stay on the pack. I believe that's the 29 and the 23 back there, both finding themselves off pace. We got guys like Material Zero who aren't in this transfer spot yet. We got guys like Air Just Cuz who are also not in this transfer spot right now that are looking in. Let's see how they stack up against these guys. They are more experienced than RHRL, I would say. But the thing is at a plate track, experience isn't the only thing that matters. Sometimes you got to have some luck. And if I were to say the 51 of Air Just Cuz and the 94 of Material Zero were not such lucky campers, those duels that they had to run. That's why they find themselves here.
Indeed, and I'd say this, and while obviously in the grand scheme of things it might not seem like it, I feel like in where Material sits, Material has maybe a little bit more pressure on him. Obviously, if you're in this race, there's a lot of pressure on you regardless, but I feel like Material may have a little bit of extra pressure on him than some of the rest of these guys for a couple of different reasons. First of all, we've always talked about how good Material is at these plate tracks. He's always in the conversation at Daytona and Talladega. So to see him miss this race would honestly be very shocking, not only to us, but I think also to him. But the other thing too, again, Material also got promoted to a league admin in the offseason. So he would be the only admin to miss the field. And again, while that doesn't seem like a huge deal, that may mean something more to Material. That may be putting more pressure on him. I don't know. But I know that's put some pressure on some admins in the past. So it'll be interesting to see how he reacts. But again, Material I think is very capable of racing his way into this.
Well, Kevin, I gotta say something right now. Right now, the top 3 are staying hooked together, but again, third place needs to remember, he doesn't transfer that spot. Chaos does not transfer from the third position. He only transfers if he's in second or first. Right now, that is literally the only way in. There's no third and you're in. There's no wish vote. There is no, oh, here's a bone, you start 37th. It is only first and second that get in. And right now, Chaos is just hooked to that set 47 bumper right there, Kevin.
Indeed, trying to do everything he can to see if he can get it. And I think what the philosophy is for these guys, pit stops aren't going to be a factor. So I think the philosophy is here, if you have some friends, work together, try to distance yourself from the rest of this field, and then settle it amongst yourselves. Race for those top 2. Obviously, if these guys were to stay together... Oh boy, here we go. A little bit earlier than I would have anticipated.
Yeah, 47 on the high side with some help from Chaos Zero. Obviously, we're going to have some bottom feeders. The 51 not at the bottom with the 94 Material. These guys are just trying to do whatever they can. 3 wide, actually, for the moment. That's going to hurt the 47. and the 66 of Billis and Chaos 0. Buckscaster still leads them currently, but hey, this thing is not over. Anything can happen. But now the 44,
Oh,
the 94
spin!
gets turned.
That's tough.
Material 0. The only one to spin out of that. That most likely will not bring out a yellow flag. So right now, that's going to really ruin any chance he had of making this thing. And, you know, for him, you know, you got to hate if you could miss this thing to be the only one who doesn't make it out of the admin group. I mean, other than you, Kevin, because obviously you don't race, but that's got to hurt.
No, indeed. And I tell you, not only would that hurt, but to miss it like that, Material was up in the conversation. He's been fighting all day. I think he was actually only 1 or 2 spots out of making it in through his duel anyway. So, you know, he was very close to not even having to be in this race, and now, you know, fighting for the transfer spot, he gets turned around and nobody else goes with him, and that's gonna definitely be heartbreaking. I know it was kind of a little bit heartbreaking to watch it end like that for him.
Here comes the 47 and 66 and the 4. They're not very well linked. The outside line has 4 cars. 47 to the lead. Chaos trying to get the second. It's 4v2. Right now, does the 47 come down? Does he leave Chaos? Oh, Chaos tries to close the door. He
66
does!
might be able to clear.
Big moves right here.
66 clears the 47, and the 66 now leapfrog. The first move didn't work, but when you don't succeed, try again. And now Lord Billis leads this race. 66 in second, but there's a little bit of lag going on. That's going to hurt now. The 4 falls off the pack. Now they got to work together farther back here. Take a look. We got the 37 here on the back. That is JGR fan Mark Silas, what you know him by. These guys are going to have to work together, but look at the big run these cars are going to have now coming into the corner. Not the best spot to make your move. Oh, the 44 just doesn't get nothing out of it there.
These guys trying everything up
They're going to
here.
have some damage.
They're all over the place trying every move that they can because they know this could be the difference between making and missing this big race. And again, this is one of the biggest races, not only for this league, this is the biggest race in league history, not only entry list wise, but this is the biggest race that we run each season. But also, again, I said it at the top of the broadcast, it might be a bold statement, but it may also be one that's honestly true. This is probably the biggest race in the Heat community, since the Summer Showdown races back during summer of 2021. But honestly, in terms of you know, private sanctioned leagues, whatever you may call them, that aren't, you know, run by the Motorsport Games 704 company, that entity, this is probably the biggest league event, I would say, since the tournament, the infamous tournament back in 2020. So this is a big race, and a lot of guys want to get into it. So this all moving around, things like that, being in the right positions is going to be key at the end of this one, with only the top 2 making it. Abyss.
Right now, this is a strategy race right now, guys. Right now, the 47 and 66 working together perfectly. Racers trying to get Alex with them. But right now, is the gap too big? What is going to go on? Is it going to work? Because right now, if it doesn't, it's a 3-car race, and it is going to be a 2-car race. Or I don't know what's going on right now, guys, but this duel might have already been set right here, guys.
Yeah, this could definitely turn into a 2-car tandem type of race. Apparently, the 47 and the 66 working together, which I'm not really surprised. Chaos and Billis have been racing with each other for a long time. They come from around Toasted Gamers Group, and then Kevin, you know that the 2 working from 3rd and 4th come from a group league you used to run way back in the day that has actually been revived as a sports car league. The 44 and 51 being Buckscaster and Air Just Cuz. Now they're split in the middle. We'll have to see, can Billis block for it?
Billis
It's going to be close.
Racing for a lot here. Billis kind of relatively quiet in terms of RHRL, so he's definitely got a lot on the line here, wants to be in this race, but so do both of these guys. Now, if either of these 2 miss, since obviously, Gavin, you're going to be in the race next week in Abyss, These two ideally would Buckscaster and Alex would also be the other two candidates that I would say to stream next week if either of them miss the race. If both of them miss the race, I guess we're gonna have some figuring out to do. But they're trying to.
Sounds
to
like
make
you
this
want
they
them to
both wanna
miss
be
the
here.
race.
No, I'm just saying that's kind of also kind of a situation here. But obviously both of them want to be in the field, so. Both these guys trying to get in the field doing the best, and you're seeing how hard they're working to do this. But I will say this, the one thing that may be the saving grace for these two at the end of the night, Buckscaster and Alex, how well they have worked together. They're actually both in the party with us, and they've been extremely coordinated with what they're doing with one another. And I know they're not the only two working together on this racetrack. They've done a very good job. There's a little bit of contact made up here.
Oh,
There they go. The
separation.
51 and the 44 are broken up now. A game of chess.
Oh, this is getting racy. They're still side by side. These four cars are not playing it easy. This is the race, guys. I don't know how, I'm guessing with at least 10 to go. This is the race for the transfer. 2 spots only make it right now. If he, right now, just to get a little extra. Buckcaster, if he wins it from this position, he has a much better starting spot than he would if he comes in second. That's the only position he can. I'm sweetening the deal. I'm putting all in. He ain't winning this race. He is not taking first place.
You thought I was cheering
Abyss's
against
chips.
people.
Abyss's chips are on the table. My goodness, Abyss, all in on the downfall of Runka. Oh my goodness.
How many laps to go?
The sitting ducks of the 44 and the 51. Now
Getting-
looking to see what they can do.
Huge run. Coming to 4 to go. This could be the race move. 47 to the lead. Does he lead the 66? Does he have it cleared? He is not cleared. The 44 is there. No pushing between the two. It is still a 44.
Looks like the 44 got a little bit loose.
3 to go.
Guys, 3 to go. Real quick, guys. Circle B Diecast ones to watch. Who you watching? This?
Billis.
Going Billis. Gavin?
Damn it, you took my pick. I wanted Billis too, damn you. I will take Chaos then.
Alright. I'm going to take the 51 of Air Just Cause. I think he's able to work something out right I think he's able to work something out right here. Try to get around the guy he's been working with and try to see if he can slingshot himself at least in the second here. That's going to be the big question, though.
Are you gonna? Don't make Jeffrey if you do.
Oh,
My
wow,
pick is
coming up.
material 0. I find a way. He'll find a way. He'll find his way.
Chaos trying to block, trying to make sure he gets in. Right now, 2 to
Oh, what a
go.
block. What a block.
3 to go. 3?
There you go.
3
Lap
3
car
to go.
coming up.
There's
Get this
still
place
Chaos
time.
all over the place.
Interesting here.
Separated from
A lot of
47.
blocking
Here comes
going
the
on.
44.
You see the desperation.
51.
Yeah, this was
is
going to be the most cutthroat race all night. And it's only between 4 cars for 2 spots.
Look at this lap car. This could really, I'm being serious. I'll be interested to see
Oh,
if,
it's
even if he
material.
moves,
It's
even if
material.
material moves, will material latch on and help one of these groups?
I don't think he will. I think Material's going to stay out of this one. But if he does, he could really play a factor in this one.
Well, this is it.
Let's
This
see
is
who
the
he
final lap,
helps.
isn't it? Final lap.
Coming to 2.
2 to go. I'm begging for this to end, people.
Abyss is sweating right now.
I think Abyss wants Jeffrey to succeed less than
Here
7 does
comes
right
the
now.
44.
Oh my goodness.
They have one more lap car. They are going to, I think they're going to get it to him on the backstretch, or at least in their turn 2 and 3. Chaos.
Oh, a little
Huge
bit of
lag.
lag.
Huge
Oh,
lag
no,
off
that
of
could be the
turn
difference
4
maker.
here. They come. They're going to get the draft. What does Billis do?
Circle
That's
B
a
1 to
four,
go.
There they go. They're gonna, oh, the 4 moved out the way. Side by side into turn 2. This is it. Who has the better chemistry? The 47 gets a good push, but the 15, the 47 tries to block. He blocks it. It's chaos. The
51's
66.
going to leave the 66.
Billis to the lead.
Is he
Billis
going to do it?
off a turn 4.
Oh
Billis
my
in
goodness,
first,
is he going
Chaos
to do
in
it?
second. Does Atlas have enough room? No. Billis checkered flag.
Billis
Chaos
is going to
second.
win. Oh man.
Now, here's what I will say. Depending, we're gonna have to look over things again. Obviously, this lineup is presumed to be, everything's presumed to be locked. But I will say, especially with how aggressive things were, there may be situations if there's clips, things like that come out where admins may look at things and adjust them depending if you are breaking rules or being a detriment. That not only goes from this race but any
is
duels.
safe. That's the only
Billis.
thing I care about. Billis is safe.
Ew. I keep my spot.
And Abyss's
keep my
starting
spot.
spot is also safe.
Billis has to be 100% safe. Chaos maybe not, but if Chaos were to get DQ'd, that puts Alex in the show.
Indeed.
Kevin, I know you don't want to see that, but
Hey, look, I'm not going to cheer against the poor man. Look, he's doing his work to get
I
here.
sure did, Kevin. I did.
No, you were cheering against Jeffrey, not Alex.
I was not.
And that was
I
because
was
you
not
made a
holding
bet
back.
on your own against your starting spot. Yes. I clipped the end, so we'll get a look
I'm
at things.
just happy Billis won.
Indeed, that is, and by the way, that's huge for Billis. I'll be honest, Billis, I think, came in here
I think
for a
that's
lot of
his
people.
First league race ever that he's ever won.
All right, dang, I wasn't gonna go that far, but all right. So,
Well, from when I've met him,
well, fair, but I think he's won some stuff before. But either way, look, Billis, somebody who I think came in here overlooked by a lot of people. Now, obviously, he didn't want to have to go through this last chance qualifier, but the big point of this is, doesn't matter now. He's in the show. He's gonna race next Friday, and I think that's the most important thing to
we
him.
get to
And
hear from him too.
indeed,
How
we're
about that?
gonna get this first time. I believe we're gonna be able to interview Billis. So.
I want this interview because I didn't get the last one. I want this one though. 100% want this one.
All right, I think that's fair.
I'm calling my shot.
All right, so
I got too cocky.
Oh my, he is here. Billy Bob, include that audio and let's get down to business. You caught me, Billis.
Yep.
What?
Whoa!
What's
Hold
happening?
on. Clip that. Clip that. No, clip that. I'm sorry. Clip that. Clip that, please.
Oh my gosh.
Record-
if you guys
put that
just
on the
heard
record
what we
books.
heard
Put
through
that on the
audio.
record books,
Oh
Gavin.
my god.
Put that on the
Oh.
record book. I'm done. I'm done.
Toasted Casey or any of you guys that are in Toasted Lounge, please put that in the quotes channel. That
Way
is
ahead
quote
of
of
you.
the year.
Put it in the quotes.
Way ahead of you.
Put that in the quotes. I'm sorry.
All right. I hope no. I don't, part of me hopes no one heard that.
Billis, you got a copy, buddy.
Sorry,
Yep.
Bill. Your
You got
thunder
me.
got stolen for a
Is
minute.
your audio included? I
Yep.
want the people to hear
Yep.
what you got to say.
I'm dead.
All right, Billis. So, what a time for you to get what, from what I've seen, is the first one I've ever seen you get. What a better way for it, though. It punches your ticket into the biggest race of the season, the Red Hot 250. How does it feel to be a winner here tonight?
It feels great. You know, finally getting a pretty big win, even though it's just a last chance qualifier. But you know, I got to act defense for this race because you know, offense works for like half a lap, but defense is the common denominator for this type of racing.
Absolutely, and the big picture here, you make the show in the 250. How optimistic are you going into the 250 about maybe putting up a fight and possibly coming home with a win there, your first ever RHRL win?
Well, over the winter, you hosted that Super Speedway league, which helped my Super Speedway skill to elevate over time. And I had I had a really good speed in the second duel, in the top 5 until I got bumper hooked. But other than that, like the car is fast. I feel like it's gonna get a top 10, if not a win, during the 250.
Absolutely, and I know since this is the first time that we've been able to hear from you, I'm going to give you the Kevin question. First off, do you have anybody to thank for this win, and how important is this to you to finally be able to get up here in the booth with us? And I can tell you right now, I'm excited for you.
Yeah. I like to thank Chaos for the push throughout the race. I like to thank all the admins for making this possible and making this one of the most biggest NASCAR Heat 5 league races ever, ever in history on Xbox.
Hell yeah, Billis. Can't be more proud of you, buddy, than to see you get a win. I've been waiting for this moment probably as
Thank
long
you, Billis.
as
Thank
you have, honestly. I am so excited for you. Abyss, Kevin, do you got any questions for our favorite Billy Bob Bartholomew James Jarquan III?
You are my favorite driver from hills among hills among hills. Sir, you saved my starting spot. Thank you. Woo!
Yep.
I love you. Got a little
I'm
cocky
so
there.
glad for Billis, man. What a way for him
That's huge.
to get a win. It's so awesome to see these types of things where drivers you typically don't see in victory lane. You see them down there tonight. I mean, that's just one awesome feeling. And it's an awesome feeling as a broadcaster, too, I got to say. But guys, closing this thing out, how do y'all feel about the LCQ there and just the night overall?
Man. Well, first, let me start with this. I'm very heartbroken for Material, because I'll be honest. I think if he doesn't get turned, I think he's definitely just again right up to the end with those guys battling there, and it's a 5-car battle for that transfer spot, for those 2 transfer spots. Material again, he's so good at these races. Didn't quite get a good qualifying lap in, which is really honestly probably what hurt him the most. Throughout the week, he had to race into the duels. I think he was 1 or 2 spots shy of racing in through his duel. Came into this LCQ and speed. It was obvious he was up there in the lead, contending for it, and ultimately ended up a lap down after being spun. That's what happens when you lose the draft. And I'm heartbroken for Material. Going to be the only admin aside from myself, which I don't race for many reasons, because nobody. That's just not a good idea. It's not good for the health of the field. But Material going to be the only admin that attempted this race to miss, and that stings. I'll be honest. It was hard to watch because I know how good Material is at these races, and I also know that he would have been capable of competing in 250, and he was trying his best here tonight. But hey, that's part of racing sometimes. I know Material will still be there with us on Friday to help us oversee things for the race. There's a reason he became an admin this season. It was because of the devotion and work ethic he puts and shows to this league, and we reward that when we see it enough. So we made some changes in the off season, and that was one of the changes we made. He got put as an admin, and he's done an amazing job so far. But it's, again, tough to see somebody miss out on the show that way. But on the other side of that, like you said, the underdog story. Billis, man, that is huge. We really didn't talk a whole lot about him in the duels or anything like that. I think he got a couple of mentions, but he showed up when it mattered. Didn't want to be in the LCQ, but hey, guess what? You still got the opportunity there, and he made the most of it. And I got to say, the racing, even though it ended up being between 4 cars, that is the best 4-car race, one of the best 4-car races I've ever seen. So obviously, controversy. I know at the moment Chaos is in. That may be adjusted depending on how some things are overseen. We'll get back to you on that. Whether we find out something before we close the stream, which I don't think will happen, or of course when the official lineup comes out next week. But either way, Chaos did an amazing job. Alex and Jeffrey, man, both those two, they fought hard. Back and forth. Both of those groups, by the way, kind of working together and very well coordinated. that showed, and I think that's what made that such a good race between them. And honestly, again, that was an amazing race. Tough to see them, Alex and Jeffrey miss, but at the same time, cool to see Billis especially and Chaos as well squeak their way into the field, at least for the time being. So, with that being said, we had an amazing night of racing tonight. The second duel finish, you can't get any better than that. This duel here, really, the last 10 laps, back and forth between those 4 cars, and just an amazing night of racing overall. And now we've set 36 cars. We've sent home 20, and we've set 36 into the big race next Friday. So, can't wait for that. This.
Sorry, I was listening to them talk because like it kind of involved me too. But yeah, I'm just happy. I'm happy I raced my way in. 2, I'm glad I kept my starting spots. Again, but Buckcaster, you did a fantastic job. We love you up here, bud. I was just trying to make some fun. But again, you did a fantastic race. You did everything you could. It's just coincidentally did not get you there, did not help you in any situation. But we got a very good race out of it. I'm saying Duel 1 was entertaining because I was in Duel 2 with a tie. And then, of course, this was very entertaining. I think this was an entire success, and hopefully we can do it next season.
Indeed. And I do want to say something before I send it back to Gavin to close. Again, still working on some things. Again, I want to shout out all you guys, though, for tuning in and enjoying it. I hope y'all enjoyed what you saw. We had 3 different races, different scenarios, and 3 amazing shows at that. And I'm very excited now after seeing at least the second duel and this LCQ race. Very excited for what we're going to see next Friday with 36 cars on that on track at once. And I think in saying that, we'll work on where the stream's going to be. Obviously, Gavin, you're in the race next week. You're gonna have some work. Gonna have some work ahead of you, but you'll be in the show. Biff's gonna be in the show. So we'll have to figure out who is streaming it. It will either be Alex or Jeffrey along with me and Honorary Hades. So we'll get you guys updated on that again. RHRL_racing on social media. So we will keep an eye on that for the official lineups and also where the stream's going to be. And you're not going to want to miss it next Friday. And again, huge congrats to everybody that raced their way in, and thank everybody for putting on amazing shows tonight and being pretty cool about it, except for the one guy back in Duel 1. And again, shout out to our sponsors as well, Kirkby Diecast and Box Cave Furniture, for being amazing partners with us. And we love to support the companies and people that support us, so go support them. And of course, as well, this is the final thing, because I know this will be the last time.
Can I say one more thing?
Hang on. This will be the last time we stream on Gavin's channel until then. So also don't forget, I'll let Abyss say something, then Gavin can elaborate more. But ENEA on Monday too. Don't forget, guys. I'm gonna shut up now.
Just let you guys know the official duel. That official race result is Chaos did finish second, and Alex did not qualify in. It is Billis and Chaos will be in the Daytona 250.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Abyss, I mean, there's nothing you can do other than prevent this from happening in the first place, and the only way to do that is to have qualified in with a better time, ultimately, which I am glad that I didn't have to do these duels, because I'm sure my veins would have been popping out of my skin by now, but that's besides the point. I'm happy for the guys that made it. I hope they all treat me well, and I'll treat them well on the track. Abyss, I can't wait to see you out there. That'll be fun, and really looking forward to next week. It's gonna be a really good race. I feel like everybody's gonna hopefully have a good time. You can't please everybody, but you know it's gonna be a good race out there with 36 guys. Probably one of the bigger races we've seen in a while. So I'm looking forward to that. Really excited, and you know I feel bad for the guys that didn't make it out of the LCQ, but they had 3 chances to make it, including qualifying. So I mean, it sucks, but I mean, it's a part of racing, and I hate to see it for them, especially Bucks and Alex there. I know they're pretty disappointed in what happened, especially guys that kind of just didn't have a chance from the very get-go of that LCQ there. It sucks, but hey, there's a lot more chances to race throughout this season and a lot more races to be ran. So there's always next time. It's not the end of the world, I promise. But for your season, if you're looking to make a comeback there, definitely look for that next opportunity to get in there and get after it. That's all I can say. And if anyone's interested in joining, make sure you contact one of our admins. Go to our Twitter page, Instagram page, wherever you can find us, and we'll try to get you situated in and get you in a race. But
Facebook
until
as well.
then, guys, it's been we do have a Facebook. I forgot all about that, if I'm being honest, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, I mean, we forgot a lot of stuff,
Guys,
and we've had a fun stream. This has been the best stream of the year.
Absolutely, Abyss. I can totally agree. It's been extremely fun tonight, and I can't wait to get down on the track next week and hopefully put it in the victory lane. You know, that'd be great.
Oh, I'll
I don't
beat you
have to
there.
race anymore if I do that.
I'll
But
beat you there.
I doubt it. But that's besides the point.
Hey, actually, hold on. Before we go, actually, that just made me think of something. All right, between you two, we had the two broadcasters here. Would we care to put some sort of wager or something between the two of you?
Like what?
50
I don't know.
bucks.
No, not money.
I'm not spending $50.
Not money.
Waste
I'm just
ball.
saying, would we like to make a bet on who's going to finish ahead of who, or make any comments on that? There is the broadcast battle, after all.
I'm going for the win.
I don't know. I think if I have a clean race, I think it's obvious. I mean,
Trying to get the rivalry going, the friendly rivalry going.
Oh, it's
But,
already
you know,
going.
we need the battle of the
making sure
broadcasters,
I'm
man.
gonna be in front of Gavin. If I'm not getting the win, I'm making sure I'm in front of Gavin. I will do the Daytona road course if I need to get in front of Gavin. I'm putting my.
That's not. Hang on. Okay, Abyss. There's one problem with that. First of all, that's gonna make you slower because you're supposed
No,
to be
I'm just
full
gonna cut the
throttle.
two in half. No,
but
because
then you would have to go through the
I'm gonna
grass.
turn
Oh.
left, go straight, then turn left and go straight.
I think your logic's a bit flawed, but all right. But either way,
you
no.
might be thinking of that fantasy course on like NASCAR 05, but I don't think that exists anymore.
Yeah.
That's besides the point. Either way, really just looking forward to getting into the race. Obviously, we got a long way to go. We'll be starting basically as far back as you can, except for the LCQ guys. I think I start ahead of them, but yeah, it's gonna be one hell of a trip to get all the way up there, and I'm looking forward to trying to do it. That's only so much you can do as a driver without luck on your side, and I think luck's going to be huge this upcoming race, especially with 36 different guys in there. It's going to be good. That's all I can say. I mean, it's just going to be one heck of a race, and I can't wait to be in there, and can't wait to see all of my fellow competitors out there, and can't wait to rewatch that broadcast over when that happens. But until then, I believe the next time you'll see me is Monday, unless I stream some other type of game in between time. But until then, for Dark Abyss, K Harvick fan, I've been Glixen, and we will catch up with them next Friday, but you got me next Monday. We will see you then. Peace.